Holy shit. Oh, damn. My bad.
You cussed multiple times. What's up, everybody?
In the podcast.
I'm sorry. What's up, everybody? We're back. The duo is back with a brand new podcast, Reality Recap Pod. My name is Honestly Tajay.
I'm shocked, bro. Like, I don't like it's throwing me off the left and right thing, bro. I'm looking at it.
You do this every time. Every time I do a pause after I introduce myself, you literally created an awkward pause afterwards. So I'm just looking at you to say your name.
That's fine. Listen, bro. This whole like left right thing is killing me right now, bro.
You're gonna have to get over it for now. But no, what's killing me is trying to look at the screen when I really need to be looking at the camera. And so that's what's
we're throwing this away. This is getting thrown away in the trash.
No.
Why is this live? What are we doing? It's a mistake.
Come on, let's get to it. Like we said, we are Reality Recap Pod. My name is Asha Sajay. This is Shock B. And we have so much stuff that we've just been thinking about and reflecting on that's been happening in pop culture, in politics, in film, in television. And we just be having so much to say, and I'm just like, you know what? Forget it. We should just go ahead and start recording how we're feeling again. You know, we had the old podcast, and we felt like so constrained with just trying to stick with the categories and just film itself. But because we have like so much commentary to say about literally everything, big and small. So that is why we're here right now with Reality Recap Pod. So you want to just jump right into it?
Let's do it, man. What we talking about?
First and foremost, we gotta talk about your man's Ja Morant, bro.
What? Whoa, we're starting off with Ja Morant?
Yes, we're starting off with Ja Morant.
Whoa.
First off, it's pop culture. You know, I feel like we gotta reserve our frustrations and thoughts on the Oscars for when we talk about the rest of the film and television things that we're, you know, waiting for, looking forward to, or not so much fans of.
Okay, I got you.
But your boy Ja Morant. So allegedly, officially, Ja Morant has been suspended for 8 games due to allegedly
I'm gonna pull up on the internet.
Allegedly, pretty much not necessarily playing around, but like presenting a gun on his live. All the while, this dude also was allegedly being investigated for like putting his hands on a teenager, assaulting a teenager. So yeah, your boy just got suspended for 8 games. Per all that's happening with him, gun related. That just reminds me. Did you see the team had revealed the whole metal detectors on the news?
Yeah.
They showed the metal detectors on the news. And just like right after the midst of this controversy with Ja Morant. And I'm just like, yeah, this is just all bad for him. Real bad.
Listen, bro, here's the thing with the Ja Morant thing, bro. First of all, like, obviously, like, him going on Instagram Live with a gun, like, the week that the whole allegations of him threatening a teenager with a gun comes out looks really bad. I don't understand what was going through his mind, but if we think about it, and I've heard like rumors just from listening to other NBA pods, right? If you think about it, this might have been the best thing that ever happened to him. Because obviously for him to do that means that like something was going wrong in his head. I'm not saying he was alcoholic or anything, but it's just something was not right?
He was living a little maybe too wild.
Too reckless, bro. It even came out that Steven Adams, one of his teammates, had said in a players-only meeting that we need to control ourselves on the road. And basically talking about Ja Morant without actually saying Ja Morant's name, right? So basically, like, you know, things were kind of rocky in his personal life, and it was affecting the team, right? And so for it to come out like this, in this type of way, may have just saved them from a bigger storm, right? Now that they've ripped the Band-Aid off, now, like, you know, he can relax. He can get the help he needs if he needs help. I saw he checked into, like, a rehab facility.
Yeah, he, like, shared that he was
all of 8 hours. He was there for 8 hours.
Yeah. He said he was going to counseling all of 8 hours. And he also just recently talked to who's that sports counselor? You know, I don't know.
Jalen Rose. Okay, listen. I don't know.
Saying that it wasn't his gun; it was like a friend's gun. And that feels like the biggest cop out to literally try to
That's what you supposed
say, like, this is my friend's gun. At the end of the day, you had the gun.
No.
You had the gun on the line.
That's
you
the
had
point
the gun that's allegedly assaulting a teenager.
I get all that shit is all bad, right? But that is the point of having homies. Like, you're not here just to fucking smoke up all the smoke, drink up all the drink, eat up all the fucking. Dang, I gotta stop cussing, bro. Eat up all the food, right? You're there to also take the charge if the charge happens. It's not even a real charge.
But if that is what your homies are there for, it's
you
just like you cannot have the evidence saying otherwise. Like, you want to be able to have the homies to be able to be like, yeah, it was my gun. I'm the one that beat up the teenager allegedly, and so forth. You can't have whole evidence and witnesses saying otherwise.
You know what?
Contradicting that.
You know, I just figured it all out, bro. Listen. The reason he took time away from the team and went to the rehab facility and all of this stuff, bro, it had nothing to do with rehab, right? What had happened was, you know, like was it Scandal, Olivia Pope? There's like some Olivia Pope-esque character
Get the heck out of
down
here.
in Atlanta.
Bye.
He spent 8 hours in the facility, and all they did, bro, was work out. All right, here's what we're gonna do. They made a plan. That week of him away from the team was to make a plan. So
the heck, that is the worst plans of plans.
How is it a bad plan?
Because all you were able to say was that this is my friend's gun. Doesn't dispute the fact that we actually have allegedly video footage of you having the gun. Doesn't dispute the fact that you were in the strip club with mother-in-law naked.
I got this. Is this my book?
As naked.
I can hold it.
Wait, did you?
That's legal. That's legal.
First off, why did the strip club reveal that image? The recorded images of him at the
to help him repair his image. You see all that money he left? That donation he made to the facility?
Donation? That is not to help.
You think a lap dance is going for $50,000 these days?
I hope not. Like, I really hope not.
after the standard fee, the rest is donation.
Get the frick out of here.
John Morant is basically Santa Claus at that point.
That one was giving. So
he just fed the family.
Man, but no, for me, it's just, I don't know. It doesn't seem like they should have got on top of that as soon as possible. Like, now he's suddenly saying something. Now he's alleging it was somebody else's gun. Like, wasn't it just a few days ago he said he was going to enter counseling? Like, these allegations have been a thing for, at least the assaulting the teenager has been a thing for a while. And then the whole gun being floated around on like socials. Then now you say something like there's no freaking sports Olivia Pope that's being able to do something about that. Like, there's no.
They're doing it right. You're literally watching them. Look, bro, his suspension is 8 games. You realize what he was facing? You realize what the other consequences was?
It was suspension indefinitely, right?
Bro, listen, Gilbert Arenas, which you know Gilbert Arenas is?
No, don't even ask.
All right, well, he's the last one involved with the whole gun situation, right? Those who know, Wizards, Gilbert Arenas, crazy. Anyway, bro, look, he was suspended like 50 games for having a gun on the team playing, right? So that's what he was facing, 50-game suspension. They got that down to 8 with a little bit of public damage. I think he lost maybe like 1 sponsorship, which was like Powerade, which sucks. But that's
they did pull his drink off.
That's pretty minor compared to what it could have been. So from 50 to 8, look, Olivia Pope is in work right now. Take notes.
You say Olivia Pope one more time. All I'm saying
is
if we were having some sports Olivia Pope right now being involved in trying to handle the PR for John Morant, they're a little slow on doing it. That's all I will say. They are a little slow. I feel like it was more than a week. It
a week and a half. Listen, bro, look, they're trying to cover everything, not just the one situation. They're like, we're gonna go down
because he has the assault on the teenager on top of this gun being flashed.
I got a feeling though, there's a lot more than that, right?
And I wouldn't be surprised if anyway you said Adam. You said
Steven Adams.
Steven Adams.
You know Steven Adams
had to say something. Then there has to be more. There has to be more.
Bro, listen, we got to.
Do we hope that there's more? Of course not. But you know what? Also, I thought was kind of crazy was this thing had like came out around the time that photo of him with his parents in the polo and the Spears went viral.
Yeah.
And they say he was not from the hood because he had 2 parents in a polo.
Oh, he went to like a private school?
Man, 2 parents in a polo.
Listen, he's probably not from the hood. What does that mean? Bro, look, there's some killers in every suburb.
That's what I'm saying.
Not that Josh is a killer or anything. He killed on the court, though. That boy nice, though.
All I'm saying is that for him to say that, okay, For this to come up on the socials, Black Twitter was eating that up. For that to come up on the socials, and then this kind of like came after that, it's kind of crazy.
No, it's nuts, bro. Like, he needed to chill out, bro. Look at my
Yeah.
boy Steve, bro. How do we get this so that we can show you guys what we see on the screen? This is making me actually pretty mad.
It don't matter anyway for those who just listen, to be honest. But they honestly, know. The thing is, I know exactly who this is. I'm just not good with names. So y'all will be able to tell me multiple times this person, Giannis, Antetokounmpo, and all that. And I might not know a name, but I am good with a face.
How do we get Giannis in here?
Oh, there you go.
Oh, we might be here. Can I share my?
There you go. Now you're sharing.
I don't want this. Oh.
This is ridiculous.
Guys, we're learning on the job. Sorry.
This is ridiculous. Get back to.
Why are we looking at Steven Adams?
For real. I know who Steven Adams looked like. I know who that is now. I knew who it was, but I just didn't know. I didn't attach face to the name. I'll put it like that. But
yeah.
But all I know is like I
really picture right there.
It is a solid picture. I really hope that this is the wake up call John Morant is needing. But we'll definitely see in that regard. Regardless if he does get the help, he does kind of get his situation together and rebrands on it. There's still going to be people really upset about this. And at the end of the day, the alleged assault still happens. So like we got to see where that happens. He might serve out his 8-game suspension and be cool on the court of the flashing the gun on the socials, but like at the end of the day, that case of allegedly assaulting a teenager is still gonna pop up.
No, fact.
Sooner than later.
No, listen, he has to get out there and hoop. Like his life depends on it. The better he plays on the court, the better the situation is gonna be.
We know that historically that always works in
like Kobe. Well, listen, rest in peace. We know what happened when we had his situation. He went out there and balled out. But anyways, look, bro. Look, yes, he has an uphill battle to go to repair his image, all the other stuff. But we are in 2023, so hopefully we move past the days of like Iverson, where it's kind of like thugs on the court and all the other stuff. Like, I think he'll be okay. I think he'll be fine. Like, he just needs to like chill out for a little bit. He'll be okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but moving on. So my girl is back. Megan Thee Stallion is back from her hiatus. She was pretty much not like anywhere on socials, pretty much really seen about. I mean, we saw like video footage of her celebrating like her birthday, like a surprise birthday, like a month or so ago. But she's, for the most part, pretty much since the Tory Lanez case, and even in the midst of the Tory Lanez case, she was pretty much quiet. Like she was not sharing on socials, not really interacting with folks, which is to respect. That's exactly what she can and is deserving of. She's like deserving of some privacy, especially with how you niggas was acting around the Tory. No, for real, around the Tory Lanez case, y'all were acting a complete and utter fool, especially these blogs, like an utter fool. So I am grateful to see that she is back. She was at the Oscars after party, and she's just popped up on the socials again. I'm grateful to see she's back, but that hiatus was long and she was well missed. And I know I brought up the Tory Lanez case, but they pushed back to sentencing to like April 10th or something like that.
Did they say why?
They didn't specify why, which is kind of weird. It's weird, but I guess that that happens all the time. Shit, for regular folks. So
is it weird if I wear my collar always zipped up like this?
I think you kind of look lame, but
you don't like this? Sorry.
you can do what you want. But yeah, his sentencing got pushed back to April, so that's interesting. Hopefully that's not a thing. Why. I don't know either, but I hope that's not a thing where like when that date approaches and where she's gonna have to she's gonna constantly relieve it. People are gonna constantly bring it up. I mean, you got like folks like Drake making subtle disses in relation to it unnecessarily. Like so gross. But that was, speaking of diss, bro. Nicki Minaj is popped back up. Why? The forehead. Just let it go.
Hold on.
Just let it go.
Yo.
Just let it go.
Look, if y'all watching it instead of listening, you can see what we're laughing at.
That hairline, that's receipt.
That's
I mean,
crazy.
that's like father, like son. You know, just let it go. Let it go on the hairline. Let it go on the hair itself as a whole. You know, but this is why, you know, Nicki Minaj just popped back up and she came out with a song. I'll be honest, I've only heard bits and pieces of it, and from what I've heard, I'm not the greatest fan of it. But you know, and I actually, which is sad because I enjoy Nicki's music. Like I feel like Nicki is a great rapper, but it's getting really, really hard to support Nicki when like her as a person is not the greatest, and then she starts making music that's not too favorable. And so like in this song, Red Ruby the Sleeves, she had like a diss towards Megan Thee Stallion. She was like, I don't F with horses, is Christopher Reeves. That is so
sure it's a diss towards Megan Thee Stallion though? Like what like on like a scale of 1 to 100%?
Why are we talking about? Come on now. I
how sure
horses
are you?
And Christopher Reeves. Who is that to? Who is that to? Like, be for real.
I mean, I'm not saying it's not a diss. Right. I'm just asking, like, how sure are we? Like,
all I'm saying is the line was unnecessary. Didn't necessarily flow real well in the song. And so you're making a commentary like that. First off, let's talk about the fan base itself. Okay. Christopher Reeves. I'm gonna be honest. When she said Christopher Reeves, it didn't really click for me. Right? But then she mentioned the horse, and I was like, she's talking about Superman who got paralyzed.
You have a problem with that?
For me, it's no. For me, it's kind of like she's saying that line, but like her fan base is relatively young. How many people at the top of their head are gonna know who Christopher Reeves is?
Have you ever heard the song Rain Man by Eminem?
Probably. I don't know.
It goes like, I ain't got no legs or no brain.
Who is that?
To meet you. Hi, my name is. You never heard this song?
Who's that to? Is that a diss for somebody?
Well, there's a whole Christopher Reeves line in. I ain't got no legs.
That's not even funny. That's not funny. This is the stuff right here, right now. You talking about you gotta be careful so you get banned or like canceled. This right here,
no,
you get canceled.
I didn't say that.
But you think it's funny?
I mean,
see,
it's kind of crazy.
That's wild. All I'm saying is Nicki's fan base is relatively young, so like a lot of people are not gonna pick up on like the subtle diss of the Christopher Reeves thing, and so it's kind of like it was a diss that also kind of fell flat. That's how I said.
Let's end this shit now because I won't stand for and Chris Reeves won't sit for this neither.
Yeah. And as we know, Eminem is another person in regards to just dissing.
Listen, bro.
His diss are just what in the world?
I have a question for you about the Nicki Minaj situation. Actually, two questions. First of all, I feel like the bigger takeaway is how do you feel about supporting artists who you don't necessarily jive with as a person?
It's so freaking hard, honestly. Because like, here's the thing: people love to say you can separate the art from the artist, but it's kind of like the artist, like a lot of the art is influenced by what they do and what they say in their everyday life. And so if you're not really respective of the type of person they are, it's like you also can't necessarily be supportive of the work that they do. Example, R. Kelly.
Whoa.
Wait, no.
That's way better examples of R. Kelly.
No, I'm
you
just
saying. Like the extreme.
Kodak Black.
Okay, I like Kodak.
Tyga. Like, there's a lot of people. Chris Brown's, you know, his controversy of not only allegedly abusing multiple women, but like the colorism allegations against him. You know, I don't even F with the black bitches with the good hair. Those commentaries and the lyrics, like it's really hard to want to support artists whose personal lives are just atrocious. And
this is a scale.
And this is how I feel about it.
Okay.
For Nicki Minaj, this is why I'm not gonna be just jumping over backwards, you know, gassing Nicki Minaj, is because like, dang, you really are married to somebody who has allegations of sexual assault, allegedly
But see, that's
and
the
allegedly
thing,
being married to somebody who was a registered sex offender, and then allegedly the stuff with your brother with assault, like it's a lot. And then you've been coming at a lot of like the things that you used to allegedly critique Little Kim on, like her having some animosity towards you coming up in the rap game. Now you're certainly doing that with other young rappers within the industry. Like it gives me not even nice nasty, it gives me more nasty. Like
nasty.
No, it gives me meaner energy, you know. So
Yeah.
it's like really hard to want to support somebody's, you know, craft when you know, dang, maybe at their core they might not be a great person, you know. And I feel like I feel like this could be me, but you're even more kind of like mentally messed up by it when it's like someone from your own community. You're like, dang, this is a black dude, there's a black woman doing this, like having this mindset. It's easier, you know, to be like whatever with other people sometimes. But like when it's from your own community, it's kind of like, how can we be these messed up, flawed individuals, and we already have people doing messed up, flawed things?
I feel like the tougher aspect too is just the fact that like Nicki, objectively speaking, is top 3, top 2, maybe top 1.
But we know
female rappers.
We know
all
that.
time.
We know
So,
that.
No, I'm saying.
That.
No, I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying like from like, you know, Meg's perspective or any other female rapper, right? To have arguably the Michael Jordan of the game going against it is tough. It's kind of like she's not just some other, you know, veteran. Like that is number one.
Yeah.
Talking about you. So I get from like their perspective how it kind of sucks.
It sucks because that's exactly what Nicki would say and allegedly to Little Kim. It sucks for pretty much who people regard the queen of rap to not really mess with you as you were like the next like rap girl within the industry. And that's also another thing too that's kind of frustrating too when you look at it from the outside perspective. Again, we don't know the dynamics and we don't know the relationship. And this people politic, you know, people love to politic, even in the music industry. And so one thing it is just kind of like my opinion is like Nicki Minaj. It was literally just Nicki Minaj for like 10 solid years, maybe 10 plus years in regards to being that rap girl who was like being featured on everything, whose album sales was going. I mean, like she's still even statistics wise, or even to credits now, her album is still like probably the highest grossing rap album in the last like 10 years or whatever, you know. So it's kind of crazy to be somebody who literally was credited to being the best since Kim to now be in a position where like they're grown. Like Nicki Minaj is what, almost 40? Nicki Minaj,
is she?
Yes. Yes, look it up.
How old is Nicki
Minaj is grown, and to be in a place where like technically you are considered one of the OGs, especially in female rap. You have 40 years old, has, you know, some of these younger girlies like looking up to you and want to have relations, and you just kind of like don't even pay them dust. And then when you do, it's not in the most favorable way. But then the folks you do pay dust to, it just feels like, are you just doing this just to add social commentary? Is this really genuine? Because she named freaking Ice Princess or Ice Spice as the princess of rap. Don't get me wrong. I like, you know, Ice Spice songs. You know, I got like the feature she did on Pink Panther song. I like the I'm a lunch type of song too. But to name, let's be honest, right now to where Ice Spice is currently
what do you have
in her career, to name her as the princess of rap right now is disrespectful.
I mean, it's not great. Listen,
it's disrespectful.
I don't know. I feel like with Nicki though, she's just doing what was done to her, right? From a certain aspect.
And does that make that okay? No.
It doesn't make it okay.
No.
But it makes it to where you understand where she's coming from.
Do you? Do you? Because for me, it's like if you're doing what was done to you, like I hate that justification. I'm just doing what was done to me. Like they didn't do that to you. Megan, the Lottos, the younger girls in the industry, they didn't do that to you. What if other OGs did that to you?
See, because look, bro, you're not looking at it from the bird's eye view, from the boss's view, right? So all Nicki is doing is trying to make Meg hard. Like Nicki,
is she, or
Nicki
she
became
just trying
Nicki
to be me.
Nicki became Nicki because of what she had to go through. So why would she rob Meg of that opportunity to become a boss?
And let's be honest, we could say that maybe Meg arguably has gone through the worst now. than other
Nah,
rap.
you've been through a lot, bro.
Like she's probably been through the worst than a lot of the other rappers that we know of. Like there are other, like other women in the rap game who've went through stuff. I mean, Roxanne was in an abusive relationship and getting dissed by multiple men in the industry, But I'm saying recently, I mean, for you to be literally shot by a low tier rapper, low tier rapper within the industry, and people are bending over backwards to defend him and shooting in relation to shooting you. He was charged and convicted. Okay, keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Bend over backwards to defend him is kind of crazy to the point that you have even questioned whether you want to be alive because of the torment and the way people have been, like I said, bent over backwards to be cool or to support this individual who literally every evidence against them was even earlier the case really showed that he shot her. Like that's a lot. So like the idea that Nicki is doing this to make the girls hard, like get the heck out of here. Who is she? They mama, bro? Get the fuck out of here.
I'm not saying she's has some board, like, all right, step one, this make her become a beast. I'm not saying she has some worked out plan, but I'm saying to you is
that's a cop out. That's the
name of the episode. That was nice. Anyway,
no, that's a straight cop out. Like it gives excuses.
I get that, but I feel like rap is also a competitive sport at a certain point.
It is.
There's some of that.
But let's be for real though. Like rap is a competitive sport, just like other sports, basketball, football, and all of that. But one thing we can say that we can agree on that has been a thing in these entertainment industries is the fact that legends have still gone out of their way to extend a hand, to give some tips, to be cool, to instill into the younger folks.
Sometimes.
We won't say sometimes. That is often when it's done. Often. I would say that is often. Say, come on. Will. No, even like people like Bill Russell, like come on, that is often.
Whoa. Bill Russell, whoa. That was random.
Bill Russell from the Celtics.
Rest in peace. That was random.
I've been thinking about him because I watched his documentary, his recent documentary.
Yeah, okay. Listen, I think if you look at a lot of these older generations, they be on some hater time real quick.
And here's the thing, bro. That's why y'all legacies don't be as powerful as it could be. To like, imagine this. You're the biggest in your lane, your industry, whether that's football, that's basketball, that's rap, that's film, right? Yeah. You're the biggest in the industry, right? You're arguably the best in the game that's ever touched this whole craft.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you're not only are you respected as being great, you're also being respected as being one of the mentors in the industry to create other great people in this. Let's be honest. If you you love rap like you say you do. You love basketball like you say you do. You love football like you say you do. Why wouldn't you do your due diligence to ensure the longevity of prospering people within this craft that you love so dearly? Why wouldn't you do that? If you are a rapper and you love rapping so much, you love the craft of rapping, you love this industry so much.
Listen.
That has made you successful, that has literally made you a multi-millionaire individual, right? Why wouldn't you pour into the craft by pouring into the people who are now coming up into this craft?
Okay, listen. What you're saying is 100% right. And yes, that is why you should do that. Like they always talk about taking care of the craft or the game by passing down the knowledge, the tools, whatever, right? That's fine. But also they tell you, right? They say you shouldn't eat sugar. You shouldn't smoke cigarettes. Bro, people out there doing that right now, smoking cigarettes. So like what you should do and what you actually do are two totally different things. So yes, the legend should take care of the game, the craft, by passing on the knowledge, helping out the younger crowd, younger generations, and younger stars, whatever. But how often does that actually happen?
And we could be fair, it doesn't happen often. We know that even just from, first off, the crabs in a barrel mentality, number one.
Yeah.
But we know that even just in any industry, corporate America, sports, film, television, like people have the mindset of they want to make it, and like if they feel like they struggle, they got to struggle too. That's a lot of people have that just with life. And I'm not saying it's right. And I feel like just because it has been normalized, it has been the thing, doesn't mean it has to continue being the thing. Like if we really check people on that and call people out on that type of behavior, that behavior would not be perpetuated on a consistent basis by individuals. You know what I'm saying?
Like
really called it out for what it was, because we don't have to have the crabs and barrel mentality. We don't have to be envious of each other's, climb and successes, and we don't have to have the mindset because I struggle, you got to struggle too. But because we get bogged down into that mindset of this has been the norm and like this will be the norm. That is why it continues. That's why Nicki Minaj is okay to be making, like, people really don't go up in arms about her dissing people, dissing the youngers. But we don't have to hold to that standard. We don't.
I hear you. I think also too, I think with it being women's rap and already being kind of like the minority of rap, it kind of, it makes it worse when she does that. It makes it
so much worse because it's like the rap industry itself. I mean, it's a male dominated industry, right?
Yeah.
And then you have women who are coming into this industry who are fighting with the men in the industry. They're fighting sexual advances. They're fighting the stigma of being even a woman who's rap. She can't rap right, or she don't rap hard, or she just raps about sex and this and that. Like, you're fighting that stigma. And then you, on top of that, have to deal with other women bashing you down and feeling like because they struggled, you got to struggle too. That's internalized misogyny than a motherfucker. Like, that's all I'm saying. It's not just because it's a thing doesn't mean it has to keep being.
But just to get back to the whole defense, because I don't mean light defense of Nicki Minaj. It's one of those things where it's kind of like, she's a great rapper, right? She didn't sign up to be a great mentor, right? Like, so
yes, that's true.
By being a great rapper, she's progressing the craft in itself and creating lanes. By being one of the greatest women rappers, one of the greatest rappers of all time, period. But being a woman rapper too, on top of that, right? So she's opening doors for Meg, right? Yeah. Whether she's like physically holding it open or just letting her legacy do it. So I guess I don't want to get too down on Megan. On Nicki.
Yes, adjacently, yes. But it's kind of like, man, these niggas already want to not even give me a seat at the table. And you basically said I can have a seat, but it can't be at the table. Like, what the heck?
You go to the kiddie table.
Like, you at the kiddie table. Like,
it is what it is, man.
I don't know. I just felt like the legacy could be so much more profound if you were known not only as the greatest in this craft, but you were also known as a great, artist in this craft who mentored other people and created other greats. Invested and poured in other greats. But that's just me.
Hey, side note, to go back to what we were talking about beforehand. For me personally, it's pretty easy to separate the art, the art from the artist, right? It's like a point, right? Like, okay, like R. Kelly's an example of like
a threshold. What I'm about to say
of like too far, but like you mentioned like Kodak Black, right? I'll be the first to tell you, I'm definitely a Kodak Black.
That's
fan,
sad,
right?
And you should be ashamed of yourself.
Well, of the music, like him, and like in real life,
be ashamed of yourself.
Okay, but what rapper am I? Like 100% down with them as a person in real life. Like, I mean, it's probably very few. Anything, rapper, ball player.
Niggas you fuck with is kind of like.
Who do I listen to?
50 Cent be wild. He disrespectful.
Oh, why do you always come with the 50 Cent?
Because that's your top 5, and he is the most.
I did not say
disrespectful.
Listen, people. In our circle of friends, right? There's a lot of disrespect for 50 Cent as one of the greatest rappers, entrepreneurs, businessmen, producers of all time.
The greatest rapper?
I didn't say the great. I said one of the greatest.
What is like the list? Is it 10? Is it 20? Is it 100? Is it 50?
One of the greatest rappers.
So you can't even specify.
All right, he's probably one of the greatest top 25 rappers.
25? Okay.
Well, he's top 25?
Me personally, no.
There's no way you have. You don't even know 25 rappers.
I do too.
Name 25 rappers.
Name 25 rappers? Okay. We just
said listen. When we do this, you don't have to do this, bro. Actually, don't do this. Go and embarrass yourself.
I know 25 rappers.
You give me to 15 and get a little shaky.
I know 25 rappers.
I don't want you to name 25 because look, if you get to 20 and it's like you kind of having to think about it, it's kind of hard. That's embarrassing.
I know 25 rappers.
Listen, not neo soul, but I spit a rhyme or two.
First off, a rapper is a rapper, right? And I know 25 rappers, and I know really good rappers.
You don't know 25 better than 50 Cent.
Yes, I do.
You don't know 10 better than 50 Cent.
Yes, I do.
Bro, listen.
Yes, I do. Biggie Smalls, Tupac, Ice Cube.
Ice Cube's getting more questionable.
Whoa.
Whoa, what?
What did I say? Biggie Smalls, Tupac, Ice Cube, fucking J. Cole, Drake, Kendrick, Lil Wayne, Eminem. Who else would I say is really good?
I want you to know that J. Cole is questionable.
What? Jake?
Yes, bar for bar, J. Cole is way better than 50 Cent. It's not even close. But being a rapper is not just about bar for bar.
You think 50 Cent is better than J. Cole?
I didn't say 50 Cent is better than J. Cole. I said that's when we start to get a little questionable.
And first off, Lil Kim is in that top 10. Let's not disrespect Lil Kim.
Lil Kim is not in the top 10 rappers of all time.
That's a joke, right?
I think Nicki's probably better than Lil Kim.
I think Nicki Minaj is in the top 10.
You can do that, but it's not both of them. I'm sorry.
I think it's both of them. I think it's one because here's the thing. Nicki Lil Kim heavily influenced the flow, the cadence. Nicki Minaj. First off,
Lil Kim sounds too much like Biggie, bro.
Let me finish. And then Nicki Minaj kind of like pretty much saw the framework and took it and ran with it. So that's why I'm saying they're both great.
And both top 25 for sure. That's no non-debate. So that means top 25 means you're not one of the greats. It means you're one of the
who are you saying is
greats of the greats.
You saying
elite
is the top 10? Who are you saying top 10?
Listen, all the things you said I'm not saying aren't top 10. I
think my list is pretty good.
I just mentioned Cube and Cole as two people who, like, if someone wanted to argue 50 Cent over them, they'd have some legs to stand on.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, Many Men, 50 Cent, that's really great. That kind of trying. That's the whole album. Like it's
classic, bro.
It's a classic. I'm not disputing that, but we're talking like one really good album. Like, is how many albums out there do you say that people bump on a consistent basis with 50 Cent? Like, we know 50 Cent. Like, we know 50 Cent is a rapper, but let's be honest. What he's been known for in the last 15 plus years is being an entrepreneur.
Okay, he has a career change. That's fine.
Yeah, 5 years after his album, like this first few albums, like literally, how many albums did this man have in total?
I mean, he had like 4 or 5. But look,
and you're saying he is the top 10?
I'm saying his first 2 albums are legendary. His first one is a bona fide classic. Like, I'm talking about, like, when you talk about classic albums, you're gonna talk about, of course, the Illmatics by Nas. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think personally, the Black Album is my favorite Jay-Z one. But obviously, you got the ones like Reasonable Doubt, whatever, right? J. Cole, Forest Hills Drive.
Would you say Jay-Z's top 10? I think Jay-Z's top 10.
50 Cent maybe has a classic album right with the other ones,
my
bro.
list might have to get pumped out.
Well, listen, my top 10 list will probably be, don't hold me to this, but just off the top of my head, it'll be around something like, and this is not in order, people, but it would be like, Jay-Z, your Lil Waynes, your Eminems, your Biggies.
Mm-hmm. If you say Biggie and don't put Tupac in the top 10, you're being disrespectful.
Well, I said
he's
Jay-Z, Lil Wayne,
top selling albums, rap albums. He has more record sales than Biggie.
The Biggies, your Drakes, your Kendrick Lamar's, your 50 Cents. Who else I'm playing there? I might even throw DMX in there, to be honest with you. Kanye probably has to go in there. Did I say Jay-Z?
Yes, you did.
I'm
DMX,
torn here.
Yeah, definitely in the top 10.
I kind of want those Snoop in there just from like the impact. Look, DMX.
See, your list is misogynistic because you didn't.
No, Nicki.
You didn't say no Nicki, no Lil Kim, no Foxy Brown, nobody.
Foxy Brown.
You said nobody.
Listen.
Now I didn't say
nobody
Foxy Brown is
Brown.
I didn't say Foxy
Whoa.
Brown was top 10. You named no woman in the top 10.
Bro, look, I put Nicki back in.
She fucking ate Kanye and Jay-Z on their own records. Like, let's be honest. She demolished them on that record. You didn't even want to even consider her until like an afterthought to put her on that list.
That's a mistake. This Nicki Minaj is in the top 10. So you have my list. But look, 50 Cent is there because of the same argument you have to make for Snoop Dogg or DMX, right? Or even Drake, right? They had a point within the game where it was like they were number one. Eminem had it, Wayne had it, Jay-Z had it, bro. It's like if you've ever been on top of the mountain top like that, to where you're number one in the game, you automatically have top 10 consideration and automatic top 25. Rappers have been around long enough to have more than 25 people that have been
random thought, though, I will say this. I feel like Tupac, if he was still living, he would have definitely gave us Ice Cube vibes. Would have put out his first little albums, and he would have been done. He would have went straight into acting.
Bro, you want to know an unpopular opinion, bro? I don't know if I should say this on camera, but I'm going to go ahead and say it anyways. Listen, Right, I'll make it full screen so people can clip this up, whatever. If I become famous one day, this might come back to haunt me. But look, I don't think if Tupac was living, bless you, I don't think we would think of him as one of the greatest rappers of all time.
That's where you're gonna have to shut the fuck up.
No. Listen. Can you hear me out? Can you hear me out? Can you hear me out? What you said about him being like Q to where like we wouldn't even think of him just as a rapper, I think is so on the money, right? I think it's to the point where like it would be at the point where thinking of him as a rapper would be almost belittling, right? But look at that with 50 Cent, right? At this point, calling 50 Cent a rapper is almost kind of like, all right, are you being disrespectful? Because it's like, bro, he's so much more than a rapper at this point.
What is 50 Cent?
If anything, he's just an entrepreneur.
An entrepreneur is probably the best.
Bro, his run as a producer, as a TV producer,
okay,
it's pretty crazy, bro.
Are we talking about the quality of production, or are we?
I'm talking more so the Tyler Perry run, where it's kind of like, oh, listen.
Hold on, Tyler Perry. We're sorry, I don't know him.
No. I don't think Tyler Perry would argue that he has like the most Oscar quality stuff of all time. But what Tyler Perry would tell you though is he feeds the people, right? You know what I'm saying?
I said
he puts asses in the seats.
I told you, I said 50 Cent makes stuff for Black Twitter.
Well, so I'm saying 50 Cent
produces projects for Black Twitter,
makes stuff for mainstream people, right? And so like he has done a lot. And so I think with Tupac, bro, listen, he would have done so much other stuff. I don't even think the rapping would be the only thing we would know him for. And objectively speaking, bro, no one would argue Tupac is the most Dr. Seuss, 4-syllable rhymes, cat in the hat bars, which is kind of like super lyrical, right? He's not some lyrical genius, right? He was good lyrically. He had good messages, but it's not like he's like, all right, Biggie Smalls had more technically difficult raps at the time than Tupac. You know what I mean? Like his flow was crazy, right? Futuristic. Tupac had a message, right? But he's not the only person with a message. Common has a message too. Nobody's trying to hear that.
Get the fuck out of here! But
Nas has messages.
Let's put respect on Tupac.
They're both legends. Common and Nas.
They're all legends. Common's great. Nas is great.
Yeah. Tupac cannot be top 10 anymore, bro.
No, not doing
like with Kendrick and
for
J.
you to
Cole.
Put 50 Cent in his top 10 over Tupac.
I'm not saying you have to have. I said 50 Cent has to be top 25.
Out of here.
I'm not saying you have to have 50 Cent over Tupac.
No. I just feel like the whole he has a message. Anybody can have a message. This is bad.
Not anybody have a message. Crazy. I'm not saying that.
It's the delivery of the message. Okay. It's the delivery.
Andre 3000. Does he not have multiple messages?
Andre 3000 is a great rapper.
And we didn't put him in the top 10. That's hard. 3 Stacks was in everybody's top 10 until Kendrick, J. Cole, and Drake basically took 3 spots away from people. It's like it was a lot easier to have people in your top 10.
But for Biggie to still be in your top 10, like that doesn't make any sense.
Because Biggie's flow to this day might still be the greatest.
People play a few songs for Biggie songs today.
Well, if they just name from Biggie, they do this Tupac. Anybody else?
Name 8 songs from Biggie.
Name 8 songs from Biggie? Off the top of my head? Okay. Like who shot you? First of all, can I say this for a fact? Mm-hmm. I don't know if I can name 8 songs from Tupac off the top of my head like that.
I think I can.
No, Big Papa, like there's a lot of Juicy, there's a lot of Biggie Smalls, a lot of Tupac songs. They're both greats, bro. They're both top 25. Which I already said, if you're top 25,
but even
it's the greats of the
record
greats.
Record sales. Like if we're talking about the most most sold album sales artist period.
Neither one of them were in the discussion.
No, yes, he is. Tupac is in the discussion.
Well, for the most album sales?
Yeah, yes, like in the discussion for 50 across the board, like 50 artists across the board in any genre. Tupac is in that list. Biggie is not. I literally think.
Bro, I'm saying neither one of them were competing with Drake or anybody with album sales or Jay-Z.
Look it up.
Look it up. Most rap albums.
No, look up most selling album sales by artists. Like I'm telling you, I looked at the list. Who's on the list is Mariah Carey, some other women I don't really know. You know the Beatles are on that list. And you're doing very specific, and I'll keep trying to tell you, don't go specific.
I'm saying the highest rap selling albums of all time.
Go ahead.
Hey, listen, people, can we no, hold on. These are the rap album sales.
So you share the wrong description.
Look, 50 Cent number 9.
Keep going. What? I don't respect this list.
But it's
I don't respect it.
But first of all, Eminem has had
Eminem is in here like 3 different times.
But Eminem is one of the greats.
That is why it said he was in my top 10.
He said, no, Eminem's not in your top. Eminem, look, Tupac and
Hold
Biggie.
on, keep going down the list, nigga.
Keep going. Tupac and Biggie aside, Eminem and Jay-Z are not in your top 10. I don't want to hear your list. Drake 2. Drake and Kendrick 2. Those 4. 50 Cent in there twice.
Tupac, what did I tell you? Over Biggie. You still ain't 2 different albums, bro. Where's Biggie? Where's Biggie? There we go. 2 albums after. Like literally after two albums
bro,
of Tupac.
I'm not saying Tupac sold more than Biggie. What I'm saying to you is, what was my
now you're suddenly not saying.
What was my argument for Biggie being in there?
The fucking futuristic flow.
When did I ever say albums?
I said that.
Okay, so you can say albums.
But I feel like you can't say shit. The numbers speak for itself. You might say he might have the best flow, he might have the best cadence, whatever. But the numbers speak for itself.
All right, listen, bro. Honestly, if I'm being real with you, bro, I'm 100% with you, right? Neither one of them should be in the top 10 anymore. Because look, bro, it's just like
I can agree. to that.
When we were kids, bro, yes, you put them in the top 10. But right now, Kendrick, like I said, Kendrick, Drake, and J. Like, there's less and less spots every year, bro.
I can respect that. I can respect if we were to say both of them, like these owners should not be in this list. I would agree with that.
And to be honest with you, the only reason I even have like 50 Cent, DMX, and Snoop in that around there is because when we go down this list, bro, they have like multiple albums as like the top 15, even to this day, which is crazy.
Is that Vanilla Ice album? Go down.
Yeah, bro. Listen, every now and then. What's crazy though, look, people, we can go back to this for just a second, is the fact that Lauryn Hill's in here twice, bro. People need to give her, her respect.
I mean, did somebody for the first time ever beat her record for the rap song being number 1 on Billboard? Who was that? Who just broke that? It was either Cardi. I think it was Cardi B.
Like, look, Cardi's chasing Nicki low key.
I don't know who broke that, but like Lauryn Hill till up until like last year was the only album and record to be on the number 1 Billboard or number 1 spot in Hot 100 Billboard for a rap album or single ever.
I hear you. Can I make a point to the people real quick? Listen, bro, just like this is like a pet peeve of mine, right? Like people in basketball talk about Kyrie or whoever athlete today has the biggest bag of all time. And I always say, bro, like as the sport progresses, you're gonna get more. Like the average person is technically better than the person 20 years ago. So now in basketball, the average NBA player is probably more technically skilled than the best, most technically skilled people in the 80s and 90s, right? This man right here, Nelly, right? No one would ever say Nelly is a technical rapper, right? Yeah. But lyrically, bro, like he's more technical than a lot of the 90s rappers, right? And so I'm not saying Nelly technically is better than Tupac per se. What I'm saying with the whole Tupac argument, bro, is as time progressed, bro, his lyrics were not so advanced they hold up to the test of time. In fact, a lot of his songs don't really hold up to the test of time. Like his smash hits do, don't get me wrong. But he did not make timeless music, bro.
I don't know if I can agree to that, but hey, everybody has their own opinion. To each his own. That's yours. That might not be mine.
I think making timeless music also doesn't make you just the greatest of all time, right? There's a lot of artists like Nelly, per se. Nelly is not in my top 10. There's people in the top 10, I think.
But he has one of a really popular song. It's hot in here. The nigga was able to make a rap country song with
bro, Nelly's music is timeless, bro. He just makes really good music, bro. That's the thing with Drake, bro. Drake is not the greatest rapper from a technical perspective. You know, he is technically great. But he just makes good music. Yeah. 50 Cent, the circle is all the way back around. See how I did that, bro? Look, 50 Cent makes great music. Yeah. We grew up on this. Yeah. 50 Cent's top 10, bro. In the discussion.
Not saying that, but okay, we can move on. Let's move on.
You see people, last thing. Is it kind of crazy how people keep saying how Eminem is top whatever only because he's white? I get the argument.
But let's also
he's the only white person on this list.
Let's be cognizant of the fact that like another reason that gave him the opportunity to be great was because he was one of the few white artists in this industry.
100%. I get that, bro.
Like another reason why.
That's why this man Vanilla Ice is there, because he was white. I get that. Look, but what I'm saying to you is, look, bro.
He had that in his favor. It was
also too
the white community that really didn't want to. Maybe the white folks that didn't really fuck with the niggas. They was like, oh,
Factorious.
we got somebody that look like us who can do it, and who can go toe to toe with the niggas.
Factorious. All I'm saying to you is this: that definitely helped. It was a big part of it. But to act like he is not technically up there with them. Listen to the song "Renegade" for all you young people out there born in the 2000s, and then come talk to me about skill. Because we know Jay-Z is one of the ones. To argue M is not too, it's just crazy. Anyways, what's next on the list?
I don't know anybody who's saying Eminem is not.
Oh
That's
my god,
crazy.
bro! It's been a thing on Twitter. A lot of the older rappers. First of all, Snoop was just saying it a year ago. He finally backed off of that.
Really, Snoopy was saying?
Oh, this is like a thing on the internet right now. A lot of rappers are like older generation rappers are saying
he's only great because he was white.
Yes.
Wow.
Who just said it? Was it Melly Mel that just said it?
That's
a week ago, 2 weeks
crazy.
ago.
That's crazy.
It's definitely a thing, bro.
And I don't even listen heavily to Eminem like that, but I know he got some classics. I do know that. I know he's record sales. He got multiple albums that's beating up some of the folks that we are saying are legendary. But before we get into, I know what we really want to talk about, which is the Oscars. We got to talk about a bit of legislation. We got to talk about a bit about politics. Yes, let's go back. So I'll be a little brief about this because I don't know too much of the details of this, but so Biden, President Joe Biden, just signed an executive order, pretty strong arming universal background checks before the sale of the firearm. So you pretty much just issued this executive order, I think within like this last week. He's done something similar to this last year, and it didn't really go anywhere. And so people are hoping with this executive order being issued and revised and updated that like maybe it'll actually get passed. But I'm gonna be honest, like we're still on the foots of another shooting, and honestly, I don't see it passing. And it's unfortunate that it's not gonna pass. I don't see it happening. People love their guns too much, and people can be careless in life. And when you have people have the mindset of taking my gun, it's like taking away and they're not even taking away the gun right now. When you have people who have any type of legislation mindsets, we have people who have mindsets putting legislation on any type of gun sale or the process of attaining guns. People automatically have in their mind that you're taking away my rights, and you're taking away my rights for guns. So I don't really see this going too far, unfortunately. But that is something that has happened in the last week in regards to pretty much stricter gun laws. So we'll see what happens. We'll be able to provide an update, if and when something does happen with this. But that's one of the things that we had to talk about. And honestly, the whole gun thing, the whole conversation of people owning the right of guns is just kind of wild to me. Like I definitely understand that everybody, that is a right that we have been righted and given. But I'm like, we got to be a little specific in the right in which you were given. Like, nobody should have the right to a semi-automatic weapon.
Well, I don't understand about this whole right to guns, all this other stuff, bro. Like, when the law was written, I don't think they had in their even imagination that the average man would have access to guns that can shoot
multiple people at once.
Bro, listen, they had no concept or fathom. They couldn't fathom the amount of weapon we have now. They were
still freaking loading guns, going like this.
It's a whole different ball game. Listen, you do not have the right to own a weapon that can just mow people down.
Yeah,
without having some significant training.
Bro. And here's the thing: like, you want to own a gun so bad. Let's adopt some of the policies of other countries. Like, I think in Japan, you have to apply to be able to own a gun. You have to take a test. Then you go through like a whole interview process. And then afterwards, it's kind of like you do a psych evaluation. And then after all of that, you're either approved or denied for a gun. But if you are approved, you are responsible to be able to holding your gun, storing your gun in a certain manner, and failure to do so not only means heavier like fines as a consequence, but possible jail time. We don't have anything like that. Like, I just heard a story the other day where unfortunately a 3-year-old child shot and killed their 4-year-old sister because they had discovered a gun in the house and grabbed hold of it, and it discharged and hit the 4-year-old older sister and shot and killed her. All the while, there were multiple adults in the house, and each parent's response was they thought the other parent was watching the child. Like, stuff like this, you want a gun so bad, stuff like this shouldn't be able to happen, you know? We shouldn't normalize, like, it shouldn't feel like normal for there to be another shooting at a college campus, at a high school, at an elementary school. Like, that shouldn't be a normalized thing in our country. You want a gun, we need to be creating more legislation that is very specific in how and who can get a gun, how you can get a gun, and how you're properly supposed to maintain said gun.
No, facts, bro. Look, under Japan's firearm laws, the only guns permitted for sale are shotguns and air rifles. Handguns are outlawed, but getting them is a long and complicated process that requires effort and lots of patience. To qualify for a firearm license, potential buyers must attend an all-day class, pass a written test, and a shooting range test with an accuracy of at least 95%. They also must undergo a mental health evaluation and drug test, as well as a rigorous background check, including review of their criminal record, personal debt, involvement in organized crime, and relationships with family and friends. After obtaining a gun, the owner must register their weapon with police and provide details of where their gun and ammunition is stored in separate locked compartments. The gun must be inspected by the police once a year, and gun owners must retake class and sit an exam every 3 years to renew their license. The restrictions have kept the number of private gun owners in Japan extremely low. Listen, bro,
it's I just said all that. Just want to let you know. I did said all that.
No, I'm not saying you didn't say all that. Only that I read that out there is just so the people that are at home that can't see that I had this on the screen can see, like, look, I'm literally reading out to you. Like, this is definitely a thing, right?
Yeah. And they're talking about making this even more strict. So,
bro, listen, look at the numbers. What was it? They had 9.
It's low. It's super freaking low. It's super low. In other countries,
9 deaths from firearms in 1 year, bro.
Yeah, in other countries, it's the same thing. Like, where they have maybe like citizens are not allowed to have guns, number one, or they have very strict laws like this to where like shootings, period, a murder, period, happening in their country is so low. Like, they might have a murder once every 10 years. That's how a murder by like a gun once every 10 years. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, so, 9 compared to in the U.S. that same year 2016 is 39,740.
It's crazy.
Bro, look. Listen.
It's crazy.
Owning a gun, bro, should not be tied to your human rights, dude. It just shouldn't. Like, if you want to have the ability to defend yourself or whatever, a couple questions. A, like, where are you at? Like, where you living at, right? It's a big question. Like, why are you having to do that, right? I think that's more of a failure on the government that we have places where you feel it's so dangerous that you need a gun, right? Mm-hmm. Second of all, if you're like involved in criminal activities, none of this is about you. You having a gun is a totally different thing. We're talking about civilians here. And then third of all, bro, look, owning a gun within a city space, I've always felt is a recipe for disaster. Because let's say, like, look, I live in an apartment, right? Somebody comes in here to rob me and I need to use a gun to protect myself. There's like a more than likely chance that the bullet is going through the walls and into my neighbor's house.
Yeah, that happens all the time. And
how am I shooting a gun within city limits?
This is crazy. Like, you know, that's actually happened to me in proximity. That happened to my family where like somebody shot through the floor and literally almost struck a family member of mine.
Bro, it's crazy.
Like, yeah. I mean, and then honestly, one thing I will say too, we need to be more restricted in like the handling of gun and discharging of firearms, even in our police force. Our police force, our military, all of that. You know, because, you know, you could argue that and somebody would probably argue back with you. Well, the police, they shot through the wall, or what was it, the wall of Breonna Taylor's house? And she's dead. She's not here. Still has not received justice. So people could argue a lot of things. And so, like, when we say we're creating more restrictions and legislation to control the use and purchase of guns, I'm saying it also for not only for civilians, but we need to be more strict in the use, the discharging of guns for even the police force. But that's a whole nother
No, facts.
whole
dude.
nother
The
subject.
whole gun stuff is crazy.
Whole nother subject. But
There's nothing's gonna happen though, because look, bro, do you think Biden's getting gun or legislation passed when the NRA and the Republicans are so against that, and Biden is
Biden's
not?
gonna end up doing something in his hold on. Let me.
Okay.
He's gonna end up doing something. I don't know if it's gun related, but there's always the argument that the president is known for one thing that is impactful that they did in their term. For example, President Obama, he was able to create the same-sex law, like making it legal. You know, that was something.
I wouldn't say that's what he's known for, but I get what
that
you're going.
is like one of the most notable things that happened.
Probably more so Obamacare, but yeah. Yeah. Obamacare, and then the whole killing of, what was it, Osama bin Laden?
Yeah, he got some big things. He had three big things.
I would say there are three big things. I say there are three middle of the road.
No, there were three big things that happened in his career. Let's be honest. Like
three standard things that I would expect of any president. Or whatever.
You can expect it from any president, but there were several presidents before him that did not maintain it. Fucking George Bush wasn't able to kill Osama bin Laden.
Okay, listen, I'm not. The killing Osama bin Laden. That should not even be counted.
That's a whole thing. But even, but I'm talking even more so.
Like President
hold on,
Obama
let me finish.
hopped off the helicopter, bust down Osama bin Laden's door. It was like USA.
What are you talking about?
Obama killing Osama bin Laden by himself.
What are you talking about?
I'm like, we're giving him credit for something that, like, yes, he was a part of giving the orders, but like
you're getting tripped up on the semantics. I'm really saying, like, in his term, his administration, like every president in their term in their administration is known for doing at least one thing or contributing to one thing. With George Bush, there's the idea of 9/11 and the whole infiltration in Afghanistan, Iran.
Because of mass destruction.
Yes, that was largely associated with his administration. With George Bush, with President Obama, like you said, there is affordable health care, like Obamacare, and then the legalization of same-sex, but then also the killing of Osama bin Laden in his administration. And then with Trump, there was, pretty much, I hate to say it, there's always something associated with the president, and with Trump, it's major hate. Major hate.
Listen, bro.
Children being separated from the parents at the border, so many stuff.
When I say President Bush, what is the first thing that comes to your mind as a 90s baby?
You think 9/11?
No, that's not the first thing that comes to my mind.
What do you think with Bill? And then, like I said, also with Bill Clinton, you just think of one big thing that is a representation of their administration.
The first thing that comes to my mind is George Bush doesn't like black people.
I knew you were going to
I can't.
I knew you were going to
That was crazy. But I said he was wrong for saying it. It was just a crazy moment.
We don't talk about that.
That was nuts. George Bush doesn't like black people. What's the first thing you think when you think of Bill Clinton?
You think Monica Lewinsky, and you think him the first black quote air quotes y'all, the first black president. This nigga played saxophone or sitting in a hall or some shit.
He said he didn't inhale. What did he say? Or exhale? Let's say I didn't inhale, right?
What are you talking about?
When he smoked weed in the Oval Office.
He smoked weed in the Oval Office?
You ever heard about that? He said he didn't inhale though.
Get the heck out of
here. What did you do? You wasted your weed?
No, like you think of, like I said, Monica Lewinsky and quotations, the first black president, and then him playing
the first black president.
Playing the saxophone on the Arsenio Hall. This is what people say, but I don't believe.
Well, the saxophone Arsenio Hall is not what people think of, bro.
That's what associated people to the idea that he was the first black president. It is. But let's move on.
It's a low bar.
Very. We would talk about this all day.
Some people say we haven't had a black president yet.
We're not.
I didn't say that. I'm saying some people do say that, though. I'm not saying I'm saying that.
Some people argue that maybe Abraham Lincoln was the first black president. They believe, like, allegedly that, like, his mother might have been, like, a person of color. Like, not a person of color. Black. Black. Like, she was probably black, if at most, like, black and white.
I did see that one where he had the pick.
He looked really black.
He had a little pick in the beard.
He looked really black, but he didn't really give a fuck about blacks, so we won't even go there.
Black president.
Get the fuck
Wasn't there a black president before though? George Washington?
There were actually several presidents before George Washington, and I think one of them was in fact black. But we're not giving a history lesson.
Gotta talk to my boy Kyrie. He'll let you know. What? It's so funny.
Okay, TikTok.
Whoa, you
The
just
TikTok.
mad at me.
The US government. Have you heard about the TikTok ban that they're pushing? I know everybody's saying TikTok ban, but the US government has really recently threatened that if China doesn't sell its stake in TikTok, they threaten that they will ban the platform for all of its citizens. That you will not be able to access it. And crazy enough, most of the legislators are behind it too, which is so wild. And then on top of that, a lot of organizations and companies are on top of it, are in favor of it too. I'll put it like this. Here's the thing. It is literally, I feel like, just one of those platforms where very few organizations, very few companies, very few of like our legislators are being able to tap into this platform to monitor us, sell to us, market to us, quote unquote, control us, manipulate our thoughts and our feelings about stuff. Mm-hmm. So that's why this whole ban is happening. It has nothing to do with maybe China and like at its core, maybe like China surveillance or anything like that. It really just comes from not being able to monitor and like censor and really just have some degree of control over civilians and what they're receiving and what they are outputting. And so that's why there's this overwhelming push to ban it. As a TikTok fan,
a big TikTok fan.
A TikTok fan, okay? I enjoy the app. Do I know the app is addicting? Yes. Do I waste a lot of time on that app? Yes. Is that app really helpful to my mental and physical well-being? Who knows? But does the government have the right to be able to censor what apps that I choose to get on for my enjoyment? I don't think it's fair.
Well, listen.
And honestly, with the net neutrality stuff that happened just a few years ago, I already knew this stuff was going to start happening. That whole net neutrality, us losing net neutrality, that was just pretty much an inclination to me. Like, the stuff is about to hit the fan when it comes to the internet and access to internet and what we be able to input and output on the internet.
Nah, facts. Listen, bro. The whole it's addicting and they're helping us some kind of all right. So are they banning alcohol again too? Like, at what point is it my responsibility to look after myself?
Are they creating more stipulations on the pharmaceutical companies?
That's what I'm saying, bro. Listen, so that argument is BS. Listen, I don't know if they'll be able to do anything about this because I feel like it's a slippery slope, man. Once you start banning TikTok, then what's next?
That's what I'm saying. Like, for me, like, if they successfully ban this platform, we're screwed. Like, who's to say they're not going to ban any form of us being able to communicate with one another, for any form of us being able to really learn stuff about just history, what's going on, all of that, you know?
How do you feel about Twitter?
Twitter?
As a side.
Right now, my opinions are mixed with Twitter now that Elon Musk.
Bro, what's up with everybody so mad about Elon? Honestly, Elon Musk owning Twitter, it didn't affect my use of Twitter, honestly.
Because are you not aware of how he's affecting his actual employees of Twitter?
Okay, do you understand how Tommy's getting disrespected at Walmart right now? Are you not gonna go buy?
Who says that's okay?
I'm saying, are you not gonna shop at Walmart?
Who says that okay? A lot of people don't shop at Walmart because of what.
I'm not asking. Well, are you gonna shop at Walmart?
I am gonna give me some $2.99 groceries.
Okay, listen.
Like, let's not do that.
So yes, Elon Musk being an a-hole to his employees is all bad.
Like I said, you're doing the semantics thing. It's a fucking.
That's not semantics.
It's a cop out. It's a cop out. All I'm saying is the whole you're gonna still support Twitter. If somebody doesn't want to fucking support Twitter, they don't gotta support Twitter.
Well,
if somebody doesn't want to support
Amazon,
if somebody doesn't want to support Amazon, they don't have to support Amazon.
Do you support Twitter?
Somebody doesn't want to buy groceries at fucking Walmart. They don't have to buy no groceries at Walmart.
I don't know what you're talking about. Do you support Twitter?
Do I support Twitter? Who says that? Do I use the Twitter platform? Yes, I do. I use the Twitter platform.
That's all I need to hear.
Do I
Have
use
you noticed a change in your ability to use the Twitter platform since Elon Musk has taken over?
I have less desire to be on the platform lately. Yes, I have. And first off, you asked me an answer. I give you the answer. You don't like it. You don't like the answer.
The answer is trash.
No, for real.
What's desire?
Bro,
what does that mean?
I literally tweeted today for the first time in how long? I don't know.
Because of Elon Musk?
No, because of the changes that have suddenly happened to Twitter that I'm not like. I'm gonna be honest. I can't get through a freaking Twitter thread or going through my feed without getting an ad on top of ad on top of ad. In the fact that any Joe Schmo
Twitter
can
ads
have a check mark is crazy.
All right, we'll get to that. Twitter ads are not that big of a deal.
They're annoying. They're annoying.
It's way worse having ads like YouTube or something.
And then the spam messages too. This is too much.
Well, listen, Twitter is by far the number one social media app.
I think one thing I don't really like about Twitter is I feel like the For You page is not really strong. Like it doesn't really have a For You page. But I don't think it's really
use
strong.
That on Twitter?
Do you only look at who you follow stuff? Like if I go to Twitter right now, I'm going to Twitter right now, right? I feel like when I go to Twitter, I see like what I follow the most is maybe it's what I follow is who I'm following the most. But like the For You content
is, I would say the For You content on Twitter feels all the For You content is streamed on every app, right? On TikTok, Instagram, whatever. On Twitter though, it does feel the most broad. Like it's kind of like
it's too much
for you, but kind of more so for your area. What's kind of trending? You know what I mean? That's what I kind of like though. I feel like I like the fact that I can see like what's kind of hot right now.
I guess.
Twitter is the best app, bro. I don't even think it's close.
I mean, I really like Twitter. I love Twitter. Don't get me wrong. I love Twitter. But right now, in regards to the apps that I'm really messing with, it's literally TikTok and Twitter. And I'm going to be honest, Twitter is literally most of the tweets I'm seeing, they are featuring TikToks. You know, people resharing videos from TikTok and bringing them to Twitter.
When some news happens, though, where do you go?
You definitely go to Twitter. The heck? That's how I found out most of the stuff that happened. That's how I found out about Kobe passing. That's how we found out about Nipsey Hussle passing. That's where we got the confirmation was Twitter.
All I'm saying is Twitter is amazing. And people, I get Elon Musk is a questionable person. We should not like him. But let's not act like his acquiring of Twitter has really affected your ability to use the app. Now, the whole check mark thing.
It might affect my ability to use the app, but it's definitely affected the people who are making the app run.
The thing about Twitter is, which is kind of crazy, is it's actually the hardest one to make money off of.
It's crazy because it's one of the few apps that's like thrives, like literally thrives.
It's because like the whole concept of like controlled messaging, like it's words, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's just easier to use, like it's easier to get ideas across, but it's also hard to monetize someone's typing characters out, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. As opposed to your content, which you record, it's way easier to put a value. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it's weird. Twitter's a weird conundrum. The reason I'm bringing that up though is I have this theory, people, and this is random, but if you listen to like Kyle Kalinske, Secular Talk, or any kind of real progressive speaker, right, they'll tell you Twitter should be a public square. The fact that Twitter is a public app is kind of crazy at this point, because it's like where we get all our news, our information, all other stuff. To a T is probably Twitter. So at this point, it should be controlled, I think, by the government, and they should not be allowed.
You think Twitter should be controlled by the government?
To a certain point, because like, look, bro, the fact that they banned Donald Trump,
but brought him right back,
is crazy, bro. Like stuff like that is nuts to me. As the president of the United States, I just feel like at the end of the
day, these are platforms that are owned by people, by private organizations.
But they get bailouts, like they are public.
That is with anything, literally.
I'm saying, if you get the bailout though, you should also be under the constraints of the government. That's all I'm saying. But anyways, that's a whole other side. We'll get on that. The TikTok bans, bro. We'll see what happens.
But the last thing I want to talk about in the politics, and I don't want to spend too much time on because we need to get in
more politics. What's up?
The bank's closing. Did you hear about Silicon Valley and Signature Bank closing? So a lot of people. So recently, Silicon Valley Bank, and I think that was in relation to a lot of the cryptocurrency stuff. Mm-hmm. And then Signature Bank has closed either for lots of funds, like really has lost all of its clientele's funds, or for other reasons. So it's like what does it say? The third biggest bank failure in U.S. history. Like what was the other one too? First Republic Bank and all that. So there's just like a bunch of different banks that are closing right now from either losing funds, from mishandling of funds, and so forth. And a lot of people are worried that it's just an inclination of an impeding recession. And I saw something on TikTok the other day, and it was pretty much like it was basically saying like the older generation, they're like so afraid of what this means and what's happening. But for the regular schmegular ass folks who are living paycheck to paycheck, for us it means nothing. Like we're already every day just feels like a recession already. When you're living paycheck to paycheck, when you're literally probably don't even have a savings, So like it doesn't feel like it affects us. One thing that is affecting us though is the increase in groceries. Like it should not cost $7 for a carton of eggs, 12 dozen eggs. It should not cost maybe $5 for a pack of apples. Like
I seen Cardi B talking about it. It was on her head.
Yeah. But no, I mean, like for people for like Cardi B, like her even saying something, like I definitely got the frustration. Like Cardi, why are you even saying something? You're a multimillionaire who's married to another multimillionaire. Like
it's expensive.
But I do respect that she says something too, because like these people, if they're even noticing that, how do you think it's affecting us who live paycheck to paycheck, for people who may be who live off minimum wage paychecks, who work 3 full-time jobs just to make ends meet and have children? Okay. And then all the while, the government wants to do all types of legislations to prevent women from being able to have abortions, to prevent proper birth control, proper parent planning, and we can't even afford to live as single individuals. You want to force us to have children in these conditions, which is crazy. But that is something that is happening as of lately. Is just multiple banks closing, losing funding, mishandling of funding. So a lot of people are worried about just inflation and an impeding recession.
Honestly. Listen, bro, I don't have nothing I can even do with this information because there's so much other stuff going on. It's like, it's tough. It's tough. It's hard to care about everything, bro.
Yeah. But it's something that people want to know. They should know, and I know, and because I know, I should be able to share it to people who may or may not know. Something to definitely take heed to. But
I hear you.
Back to the topic that we're really excited to talk about. The Oscars. Okay? So the Oscars were just this Monday, or was it Sunday? It was Sunday, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Kimmel hosted. And I love this. Keep this up. This is amazing. And this Oscars itself was so controversial. So controversial. Number 2 things. Till was not nominated for any category in anything. The Woman King by Gina Prince by the Wood was not nominated for anything. Not even for Best Leading Actress, Supporting Actress, Viola Davis, and the other amazing women, which was crazy. And a lot of people are blaming it on the marketing for the film for Best Supporting Actress, the marketing of the film to Leslie. And there was controversy even around that because for To Leslie, allegedly, the woman featured in, I don't think it's supporting actress. I think it was actress. Andrea Riseborough. Allegedly, the whole campaign around her involved people marketing, other like wealthy industry people marketing to their other wealthy industry people, but actually marketing and probing and encouraging them to vote for To Leslie, to vote for Andrea. They were actually a part of the voting board of the Academy. And so I think it came out that they were actually going, like, the whole campaign for their nomination was investigated,
Mm-hmm.
And so people, because like it felt like a sure thing, like people felt like it was a sure thing that I think her name is, I want to get it correct, let me look it up correct. I think people were really mad because she was in the cowboy film too. People were really like surprised that Danielle Deadweiler was not nominated for Best Actress for Best Actress for Till, and people were also flabbergasted that Viola Davis was not nominated for The Woman King, and but suddenly out of nowhere, Andrea like last minute got a nomination for To Leslie, a film that overwhelmingly a lot of people don't even know what the fuck it is.
Never heard of it.
Facts. To a point, it was so much controversy about that even freaking Jimmy Kimmel said something in his monologue about it. Like he gave a shout out to Till, Danielle Deadweiler, and I believe to Viola Davis for The Woman King, because it was so surprising that these women were not featured for their performances in those movies alone. And those movies were not featured in any category. And they were arguably really great movies. And I loved The Woman King. I loved it. You know, Viola Davis is always going to give an outstanding performance. But that was one controversy in relation to it.
I've heard a lot of people. I've not seen The Woman King yet. I need to get around to seeing it. But I know a lot of people who I would even consider like super movie buffs really love that movie, right? So it is kind of crazy seeing it's not nominated for anything.
For anything. And that's also something I noticed too. I feel like one thing with Gina Prince by the Woods, she's constantly like being disrespected. Let's be honest. The Academy is known for constantly disrespecting Black, Brown, and Indigenous people, right? And Gina Prince by the Wood is also a reflection of that, of someone who has arguably put out great pieces of work. You got Love and Basketball, Beyond the Lights, Secret Life of Bees, The Old Guard, The Woman King, so many great films. And even Secret Life of Bees, you know, and has not won Oscar or had really like a heavy domination for their films. And their films have gone on to be like classics. Let's be honest, Love and Basketball is a classic within a community. The Secret Life of Bees, I think they said that movie was kind of like what they consider Eve's Bayou, which is like a Black avant-garde film. Like that is a really great film. So for The Woman King to not be nominated, and it had really high box office margins, it was crazy. And Viola Davis' performance was also amazing. And it also featured the young woman who was in the Underground Railroad show by Barry Jenkins. What's her name? Her name is Thuso Medu. I can have that wrong. I apologize if it's wrong, but she was also featured in it, and that was surprising that she didn't have a performance. And Lashana Lynch did one heck of a job, but just wild.
Well, what do you think you should have been nominated for? Best Actress, Supporting Actress?
I think Viola Davis should have been nominated for Best Actress for The Woman King. And if Viola Davis was not going to be nominated for Best Actress in The Woman King, then I think The Woman King should have been nominated for Best Original Screenplay or Best Picture, because it was visually stunning, or cinematography. It was really stunning. Like the fighting sequences, like all of it. It was really beautiful. But if Viola Davis wasn't going to be nominated, Danielle Deadweiler should have definitely been nominated for Best Actress for Till, the story of Emmett Till. So to have Andrea Riseborough suddenly get nominated for To Leslie was kind of crazy, real crazy. But next thing, before we get into the heavy thing, Ruthie Carter, she won again for Best Costume Design for Black Panther 2: Wakanda Forever. And did you know she is the first Black woman to receive 2 Oscars ever in any category? That is why are we still in a state of the world where there's still a first? There's still a first for a Black person this, a brown person this, an Indigenous person this. This is ridiculous. And she was also very deserving. Honestly, in regards to the things that it was kind of going up against, yeah, that was arguably her design was the best.
Because knew she was gonna win.
Yeah, definitely gonna win. Definitely gonna win. But the fact that she was the second Black woman ever to win 2 Oscars is mind-boggling. Because like, what the fuck? crazy. I want to also talk about, before we talk about everything everywhere, Paul Rogers received his first Oscar for editing, and that was editing for Everything Everywhere All at Once. It was pretty notorious win because, number one, it was the first really like Oscar win for Adobe, or the first one in 10 years, right?
It was the first one to win. That was first film edited in the Adobe Suite.
Yeah. So not only that, but then two, I found out they basically said that like the whole like editing, like posting, for the most part, none of them really had a formal education in like film, like editing. And so how they went through the process of the post-production of this film was sharing YouTube tutorials. Literally, which is so crazy and it's so dope. It's so cool. And his acceptance speech was awesome. And, you know, congratulations to him. Like, very deserving. Like, the freaking editing for that film was pretty great.
It was really crazy. It's really like sporadic.
Very. It was like really, really good. Like, it gave vibes of like an animated, also superhero film, but it's really just a dramatic piece. It was really good.
I think, well, I guess we'll talk more about the film, but I feel like it really felt like an Edgar Wright film because of the editing. Like the, like Scott Pilgrim, Shaun of the Dead. Like, it had a lot of like that kind of feel.
That, for sure. I enjoyed it. It was wild. Definitely not something you should watch around children, maybe.
What, the film?
All them dildos and stuff in there.
That was one scene.
Nah, it's a little too much. Just a little too much. But it was really good and very deserving of that award. I mean, Everything Everywhere All at Once pretty much had a sweep across the board.
Dude, it was nominated for just about every category.
And won just about every category. I mean, they won for, Best Male Supporting Actor, or a Supporting Actor, Best, Supporting Actress,
Director, Best
Picture. Was it Original Screenplay? Did it win for that too?
Yeah.
Like, it won for pretty much every freaking category. And honestly, like, in comparison to what it was up against, like, I think it was well worth it. Like, I think it was really worth it. I enjoyed the film. Is it my favorite film? No, but was it one of arguably the best ones I had saw this past year in comparison to other films that were on? Like, yeah, I think it was probably my favorite for sure. Though there were some other films that were, other people might argue were the best for them. One category I didn't agree with was certainly the Best Supporting Actress win.
I saw everybody's like beef with that, and like honestly, like I'm not gonna be. I don't know if I'm like interested in having this versus that. But what I will say is, I get like Angela Bassett may have deserved it. But I don't think Jamie Lee Curtis was awful in Everything All Over Once, because I feel like some people were saying like that, like she barely had any role in.
She was in the first.
She definitely was in the film.
She was in the film, but somebody told her that she was in the film for less than, I think it was 18 or 17 minutes as a whole.
I get that,
and so
but also
hold on.
Okay.
I just feel like if Jamie Lee Curtis wasn't going to get it, or Angela Bassett wasn't going to get it, the person who really deserved it, then if not Angela Bassett, was Stephanie Hsu. Jamie Lee Curtis did not deserve that award in comparison to Stephanie Hsu. Did not.
As Joy, she was in less than Jamie Lee Curtis.
The daughter?
Yeah, like the daughter had that one sequence where like she first came back. It was from the midpoint of the film, right? Like she finally makes her entrance as, what was it, Jobu Tupaki, whatever. It's great. Listen. She had her moment, just like Jamie Lee Curtis had her moment where she was kind of like in the forefront. The whole film was kind of weird as a whole in terms of how it was like rotating themes.
I think Jamie Lee's performance stand out more than Stephanie Hsu's. They didn't make
those two compared to each other. I would say Jamie Lee Curtis versus Stephanie Hsu. I would say Jamie Lee Curtis' performance is more memorable than Stephanie.
What? That is crazy. You're the only person I've heard say that. You're literally the only person I've heard say that. Literally, across the board, across ethnicity, gender, sexuality, you're the only person I have heard say that her performance was better than Stephanie Hsu.
I have some controversial thoughts about this film. Do you want to get into
it? Go ahead.
I don't get the hype around the film, bro.
I told you it wasn't my favorite.
Like, no, it's like from a technical perspective, the editing in the hold up. I'll talk. The editing and all that stuff from the film is solid, right? It's more than solid. It's amazing, right? Like, it's a technical masterpiece. Like the cinematography, the writing, in terms of like being able to like have multiple like storylines going and to like come back and tie it off. I'll make an example, right? Like the raccoon thing. First of all, it's hilarious that they had the little joke, right? Then to actually see the raccoon on the dude's head, and then it comes around to where like now like the raccoon gets away, and now what's the Evelyn? Evelyn is now on top of his head, like the raccoon, like just like how they're like tying stories together and like coming back is dope. All this stuff is cool, but my biggest problem with the film, bro, is like it just ends. It doesn't really like complete an idea or a theme. At the end of the film, I almost feel like it was just one big excuse to like show off. Because like, what was the theme of the film? In your opinion, what was it about?
It's about a relationship between a mother and daughter trying to find understanding between one another.
Okay.
A mother struggling to understand her daughter, a daughter struggling to be seen by her mother, and finally being able to be seen by her mother.
Okay, so look, the heartbreak on that, right? And I get why you say that, because obviously, like, she's the main villain. In order to get through all this, like, the mother has to like understand where the daughter's coming from, and like all that stuff happens from a like superhero, super villain perspective. But when we come back to their real life, there's nothing that actually changed other than her mom telling the granddad that her daughter's gay. Like their situation is the exact same. It's like we're right back where we started, but yet we're supposed to feel like this was like some kind of complete journey.
I can.
It almost feel like it was like a dream the mom had when she fell asleep.
For real. I thought
she woke up and it's like
I thought it was gonna be one of those cop outs at the end where it was
like remember Click? How Click was a dream at the
yeah, that was a cop out. That was.
I thought that's kind of how it felt, bro. That's like
I can see that. I think it was very like visually stunning. I think it was probably the most visual stunning of the color, lighting, and then like we said, the technical.
The color is
editing,
crazy. How they're going to different universes, and also like, the whole color grade was switched.
Like, it's really. Nuts. I think that was why it won in a lot of those categories. But if we're talking about performances itself, Jamie Lee Curtis playing this older freaking white woman who's a tax lady who really doesn't do anything. Like it really, her performance was trash. And let's be honest, people are basically saying that Jamie Lee Curtis
it was trash.
Trash. Hold on. It was meaningless. It was. She did.
But that's more of the writing.
She did her role, and that was that. Like I didn't feel anything from her character. I felt the most from, if anything, Stephanie Jesus' character. I felt the most from Angela Bassett's performance as a mother who was grieving the loss of not only a husband, a son, but possibly a daughter in Wakanda forever. Let me finish.
Okay.
I feel like a lot of people are basically saying that Jamie Lee Curtis pretty much got this award because they felt like it was one of those long overdue awards. Like she was deserving of it for previous films in the past, and so this was like the last. It was like an opportunity, like, hey, she's long overdue for one. Let's give her one, you know. But if that is the case, like, let's not fucking sleep on Angela Bassett. Angela Bassett has been well deserving of a fucking Oscar for the last 30, 40 plus years she's worked in this industry. You know, she's given some standout performances, whether it's a freaking Tyler Perry project or Ryan Coogler project or anything else, you know. And so the idea, and if it is that, the idea that Jamie Lee was awarded this Oscar because people felt like it was long overdue, I feel like it's also a slap in the face to Angela Bassett, because like this woman is giving powerhouse performances, whether small or large, to amazing directors, you know, terrible directors, terrible writing, television, whatever, and hasn't and didn't get this award, you know. They're the same age. They're the same age, you know. So I think that's wild. I think it was very wild.
I think Lifetime Achievement Awards in general, bro, should not factor into play. Like they should not. I'm not saying they don't. I'm just saying the fact that they do that is problematic in itself, because it's like you're robbing the person that year up because you're trying to give an achievement award.
But to think that Jamie Lee Curtis shined more than Stephanie Jesus and Everything Everywhere All at Once, I think it was crazy.
I think it's to the point where it's like it could go either way between those two.
No,
because I feel like either way, like it's negligible the difference between. My bigger problem, apart from like the supporting actress, because I honestly don't. It's whatever. It is what it is. I just feel like the original screenplay for that film. I just don't understand how that was the best. I really feel like that was the best screenplay of the year before.
I
Like,
mean, look at what it was going against. The Banshees of Inisherin.
which I've
I
only
didn't see
heard
that. I've heard
amazing things about
I did
that.
hear The Fablemans was great. It was pretty much an autobiographical
It
film
was
of
Steven Spielberg.
Spielberg's life. I heard that was good. Tar was good. I actually watched Triangle of Sadness. It was interesting. It was supposed to be like definitely a social commentary film. I didn't think it was worth winning in comparison to everything everywhere all at once.
Yeah.
The only one that based off the few things that I had seen where I could see where like maybe it was deserving of a win is probably The Fablemans or Tar.
I need to see The Whale because from what I've seen in terms of the promotion for The
Whale,
Whale,
a lot of
I feel like how is that not nominated
people
for?
are not messing with that film.
What are they saying about it?
They're first off, a lot of people don't like the story. They don't like the fact that they pretty much put Brendan Fraser in a fat suit to play this character when there were plenty of other actors who struggled with obesity could have played the role. That's telling you. That is
That's like one of the big complaints.
thing was the fact that putting this person in a fat suit, they could have easily got somebody who was plus her size to play the role.
Size of the guy in the film. And who's the actor that's that size?
The story itself is just kind of like it's supposed to be this metaphor of Moby Dick's the whale, but in reality, Brendan Fraser is like the representation of the whale in the story. So.
Well, you said words there. I didn't mean anything. Listen, guys.
I just.
The fat suit thing.
Just say you're ignorant.
Ridiculous.
You don't know how to receive what I'm saying because you just don't know. You don't know what the fuck you're thinking or what to say.
I mean, ignore the fact you call me ignorant. The fat suit thing, bro, is crazy.
You literally ignored just what I said. I just told you people felt like the story fell flat. It was supposed to be this idea that Brendan Fraser was the representation of the whale, the Moby Dick story. It's about a father struggling to connect with his daughter, who pretty much he just did not have a presence in their life because of his health. Because of his mental struggles, because of grief. And just people just felt like it fell flat. But, a way to, like, let's be honest, a lot of people really, I hate to say it, Brendan Fraser won this role not only because his performance was good, but because people really have felt bad for him recently. Like I'm going to be totally transparent.
Yeah.
People have felt bad for him in regards to like he has really gone through a lot, and the public, the industry itself has pretty much ignored or treated him poorly, and so like this generation of people have got knowledge of it and really just started having this whole energy of just support Brendan Fraser. We love Brendan Fraser, and so he was selected for this role, and so like some people even think like he won this role as not only just because he was good, but also because like. It's like an apology win. Do I think that's the case for him? No, but that is what some people are arguing that maybe it's also an apology win for how the industry has treated him in the last 15, 20 years.
Some people also argue we shouldn't have universal health care. But some people, bro, listen, I have another thing to throw at you, bro. How do you feel if I were to tell you, I think the last 2 years of films have not been the greatest in terms of competition?
I'm gonna be honest, I wouldn't negate that with you. You have think about it. We had the pandemic 2020, and then coming out of the pandemic 2021, and then 2020. Like they were 2021 and 2022. They were coming out of the pandemic. Films that were like would have been great in 2019 and 2020 were coming out in 21, 22. They weren't hitting the mark. So like the categories were low. And so then 2023 is kind of like we're starting getting to the second wind of film. And so that's why Everything Everywhere All at Once kind of shined this year, because it was probably, out of all these nominations, it was the most abstract one. It was the most different one. Yeah. It was the most avant-garde one.
I feel like it's one of those films where I think in the more competitive year, it still deserves to be nominated. Don't get me wrong. I don't think all right, let's say your Moonlight one, right? I think we all say Moonlight is a better film, right?
Yep.
But honestly, the second place,
La La Land.
I think La La Land is probably better than Everything Everywhere All at Once, in my opinion.
I have never seen La La Land, so I can't say that. And the idea that I'm watching a film about this white man trying to have a prospering career and save jazz, like the focus of this whole a historically black genre of music.
You have a problem with the content, but the actual film, bro.
Two white people, a man and a woman, is kind of interesting.
You have a problem with the premise, but I'm talking about the actual film, bro. You're gonna have more emotional connection to the film.
So you really enjoyed La La Land?
I think it's a very good film.
Would you watch it again?
Yeah, I would. I think that's like the good mark, bro. I watch Drumline all the time. I don't think Drumline belongs in any. So I don't think.
Would you used to watch Power all the time too?
So I'm saying, would you watch it again? Is a bad like barometer. I watch a lot of BS guys. Okay, listen, but all I'm saying is that everything, all everywhere, all at once. I don't think it's one of those films where you walk away and like, dang, I'm gonna be thinking about that, or it's like sticking with me, right? And I feel like what I feel about that film is even worse. We talked about last year, bro. The one, what's the name of it? King Richard? Yeah. King Richard, I think. He
didn't win Best Picture, though, but he won for Best Actor.
Oh, okay. I thought that won Best Picture. I'm like, no! How did that win Best Picture?
I'm pretty sure it didn't. But he won for Best Actor. And we talked about this, and let's be honest, probably one of the reasons why he won in that category, because the category wasn't great. It was a Lifetime Achievement Award, number one. And then it wasn't that great. Let's be honest, Will Smith was deserving of a win several years ago. So what was that? Coda? Coda was great, but I don't think it deserved a Best Picture. I saw Coda. I read Coda. I did an adaptation.
Because it was competing
for a class. I produced it for a class, went pretty much as a case study. So
actually, Power of the Dog was actually pretty solid. I know you didn't like it. Power of the
Dog. I saw it. I saw Drive My Car. Now that should have deserved. Damn, the category was heavy that year. Like it was a lot of films that year. But Dune was visually great.
So I don't know if the story Dune was great, but like the actual visuals of Dune is definitely in my aesthetic.
I think the visuals of Dune was great, but the story was not for me. And I feel like out of that list itself, go back up. Hold on.
Let's talk. Okay, so I know one for Best Cinematography.
Definitely deserving of that. But out of that list itself, out of the films of like Coda, Belfast, Don't Look Up,
oh my god,
and King Richard, Licorice Pizza, Nightmare Alley, The Power of the Dog, West Side Story, and Drive My Car. For me personally, out of what I've seen Coda, I've seen Drive My Car, I've seen Dune, I've seen King Richard, I've seen clips of West Side Story, I've seen The Power of the Dog, I've seen clips of Don't Look Up. For me personally, I think Drive My Car was great. Second would be, for me, The Power of the Dog. And then third might have been Coda. But even then, I don't know if Coda was deserving of a Best Picture. I really don't think it was good, but I don't think it was deserving of Best Picture. And even in the category for Best Actor, it was Will Smith for King Richard, Javier Bardem for being the Ricardos, Benedict Cumberbatch for The Power of the Dog, Andrew Garfield for Tick, Tick, Boom, and Denzel Washington for Tragedy of Macbeth. Denzel deserved it for Tragedy of Macbeth. And so did Benedict Cumberbatch for The Power of the Dog. So to see Will Smith win for King Richard was kind of crazy. But that was, what did we say? We said it was a Lifetime Achievement Awards. He should have won it for Pursuit of Happiness in 7 Pounds. I don't know if he should have won it for King Richard, but that's a thing in the industry, and I feel like that was a thing for Jamie Lee Curtis's win, and that's that.
Yeah.
And I don't think that I'm about to bend over backwards endorsing this woman and giving out praise to this woman. This woman has said some controversial stuff and has supported some controversial things, and that go against my autonomy as a Black woman. So no, I'm not going to bend over backwards to just overly support Jamie Lee Curtis. No, I think this was a Lifetime Achievement Award for her, and I feel like if it wasn't going to be Angela Bassett's win for Wakanda Forever performance, then it should have certainly been Stephanie Hsu. I think it definitely should have been Stephanie Hsu. So, yeah. That's that for the Oscars. So just want to tap into some things that we've seen or some things that we want to see. And I saw Creed 3. You didn't get the chance to see Creed 3, did you?
Mm-mm.
I enjoyed Creed 3. So, Creed 3 was written by Keenan Coogler, which is Ryan Coogler's brother. And I just found this out. He's the one who wrote Space Jam 2.
Interesting.
Yes. And he actually helped, who was like assistant directed Fruitvale Station, right? And some other stuff. So it was Michael B. Jordan's directorial debut. I think it was, and I think it was good. I think it was really good. He said he was anime inspired by this. He's an avid anime fan. I did not know that, but he's a huge anime fan. And so when you watch the film, you can see a lot of like nods to anime in regards to the fight sequences, which is so freaking cool, right? But I will say, in regards to performances, the person who shined the most was Jonathan Majors, and we knew that was going to happen. And then the young lady who plays Michael B. Jordan and Tessa Thompson's daughter, who plays Bianca and Adonis's daughter. I think Jonathan Majors and the young lady who played the daughter were literally the only standout actors and gave me the most standout performances in the entire film, which is bad.
Yeah.
Which is bad because it's like you're the star of the film, you don't give this standout performance, which is kind of crazy.
Oh, is that crazy?
It's a little crazy. I don't know. It was just, I don't know. But ultimately, I enjoyed this film. I really did. It's always nice to see Michael B. Jordan and Jonathan Majors on my screen.
Okay.
And Jonathan Majors just gave a great performance. Michael B. Jordan basically said he wants to create a whole Creed universe. He wants to create shows. He wants to create more movies where it'll feature other fighters within like the Rocky franchise.
Please don't.
Like he wants to do that, and he also wants to create an anime series. And so me personally, Michael B. Jordan, I don't know if you're hearing this or whatever. I truly don't think it's necessary for you to do that. I think if you were going to go into a direction that I think would be the most attention grabbing, money grabbing, would be able to focus on the daughter in the story. I feel like the idea that Adonis is now continuing the legacy with his daughter, and his daughter who is also deaf, I think that is way more interesting of a story. And I can see that being a thing for maybe the next film, but because she's so young in this one, I don't know how that'll be a thing. But if not a film, I can see like a show where that would be really great. I think there's other films that have came out that feature like the stories and the struggles of a female boxer trying to win the reins and make it through the ranks and stuff. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like if Michael B. Jordan were to take it in that direction, I think that would be like really good. And I missed seeing Sylvester Stallone. I did miss seeing Sylvester Stallone in this. So
he wasn't in it at all?
He wasn't in it at all. And, he has that whole beef with one of the producers of the film. So that's probably a thing.
Bro, you know that show that he's in? Was it?
I haven't seen it. Tulsa King.
Well, listen, I haven't seen anything about it or anything. The only thing I saw was somebody that was going on a whole rant. They're like, why is he running in the film? They're like, it's so obvious that there's a double that's running.
That's how people feel about Equalizer whenever there's the fighting sequence.
Don't get me started.
When I watch Equalizer, I just think, why the heck is Queen Latifah playing the Equalizer show? But I watch it. I'm on season 3 right now. I watch it. So I don't know if it's season 1 or season 2 or 3 I'm on, but I watch it. I support it regardless.
Oh my God. She does. I've been in her house. She do be watching it. I don't know.
One other thing in regards to Creed 3 was like it is considered one of the highest grossing sports films of all time, which is crazy. It made like over.
Do you think it's one of the greatest sports films of all time?
Do I think story-wise is one of the greatest sports films? No, I do not. But it was the highest grossing sports films thus far. For me, I think that the best sports films I've seen is, of course, $1 Million Baby. Southpaw was even good to me. But shoot, there's plenty of really good from Ali. What was some, I love
only boxing film. That's funny.
I love a good boxing film. Yeah. And then, I love good boxing films.
What, the one with your boy?
Fearless with Jet Li?
No, the one with your boy. You know the one with your boy. You know who your boy is, right?
Who's my boy? Who are you talking about?
It's 7 o'clock on the dot.
Usher. What sports film was he in?
The boxing film.
What boxing film?
Oh my God.
Oh my God. I never saw that. I refuse.
Listen.
I forgot that existed.
Was it like Hands of Steel or something?
I didn't even see that. I didn't even know that film. I forgot that film existed. Because first off, I saw Usher's acting performance in the mix. Usher if you're listening to this, I love you. Just know that I love you. I love you enough. I would leave right now to go see your
Hands of
residency.
stone.
I love you, okay? But when I had saw Usher and in the mix those many years ago, I was like,
bro, listen.
A film that features Ushers is maybe not a film that I should go and see.
Bro, this photo right here is wild.
I think they selected him because he looks the most like the actual actor.
Was it Sugar Ray?
Boxer. Like he looks the most like Sugar Ray.
Nah, I get that.
But unfortunately, like that was also another reason probably why the film wasn't really advertised as it was because of Usher's performance. And might I say, Usher, you look good. Like even this photo of you right here, he looks really good.
Do you like this photo?
He looks really good and young, you know. But yeah, I haven't saw that one. I haven't seen that one. So we're gonna move on.
This is my favorite.
Jonathan Majors, and last bit in regards to Creed 3. Jonathan Majors will be playing Dennis Rodman in a film that is based on the 48 hours that Dennis Rodman was in Vegas. Like this nigga was MIA. And keep in mind, y'all, Phil Jackson was pretty much told him, yeah, you can go to Vegas for 48 hours. Just be back by the game time.
This is nuts.
This is crazy. And Michael Jordan had to tell him he's not coming back. He had to go and get Dennis Rodman too. So, but Jonathan Majors will be playing Dennis Rodman in the film that's based on those days that Dennis Rodman was pretty much MIA, which is crazy.
Have you seen this?
Nope.
On the screen right now, people, I have the Donald Sterling movie.
They have a Donald Sterling movie?
You know who Donald Sterling is, right?
I know exactly who Donald Sterling is.
But look, they got Lawrence Fishburne
playing Donald Sterling?
No. What? What are you talking about?
I don't know.
The guy who playing Doc Rivers, bro.
Oh, I was like,
look, that's Blake Griffin. That's crazy, bro.
That's crazy.
The actor selections are terrible.
Go back up. Yeah, that looks very on par. She's actually a great actress, so like, and she kind of looks similar to the person too. So
they got my boy Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
Ed O'Neill.
Ted Bundy.
Or not Ted. What's his name? Something Bundy.
That's not his name. Are you talking about the grandpa from Modern Family? Like,
bro, no.
That's where he's from.
It's Al Bundy. No, the show before Modern Family.
That's the worst mistake you can come
Not Ted. It's Al Bundy. You know,
but he's in Modern Family.
Yes, that's his second. Before Modern Family, he's already popping.
What was he in?
Oh, I'll type in Al Bundy. Watch.
I'm telling you, if you type in Al Bundy in Google, Modern Family will pop up first. Oh, he was in.
Remember that show?
Can you go to the actual full? Dang it! Married with Children.
Yeah, you always see like the reruns on like Nickelodeon, bro.
Wow, that is what a young version of him looks like.
And then it was like it's one of those actors like you've seen your whole life.
Yeah,
you don't remember where you've seen him from.
Whoa, that's crazy.
It was a pretty big show, bro.
Very big show. Even the lady who's in the show, she went on to do Sons of Anarchy, which is crazy.
She did.
Was really young and good in Sons of Anarchy.
That is crazy.
But let's move on. But yeah, if you have not seen Creed 3, definitely go and check it out in theaters. One thing I was kind of disappointed in, one thing that was like a nod to each film, or like a sequence that was like a stylized shot in every film thus far, except for Creed 3, was when Bianca and Adonis lay on the floor together, lay on the carpet and have their moment of just being vulnerable together. There's always one shot of them laying on the carpet. It's an upside down shot, and they're like,
they didn't do it in this one?
They didn't do it in Creed 3, and I think it was a really a missed opportunity, and I was kind of disappointed to see it. That was small on the scale of things that definitely can be represented. I was kind of just disappointed in it. So,
you seen The Understudy?
No, I did not.
And this Spike Lee joint with Jonathan Majors?
Did not.
Bro, listen. What's up with Duh?
What? Duh. Oh, yeah. I did see that Jonathan Majors. So Jonathan Majors playing in another Spike Lee film called The Understudy.
Bro, it's the.
Duh. It's called The Understudy. It's in production right now, but it says it tells the story of how life imitates art when Broadway production understudy discovers a role that he would kill for. Yeah, I don't know what's up with Spike Lee right now. I don't know, but
you see, Quentin Tarantino talking about, he's about to retire after this film because this whole theory of like every director only has 12 films in them or whatever.
Really?
You heard about that?
I think we talked about this before.
It's crazy.
Which one is Spike Lee on right now?
Spike is on film number 52.
Has to be. Like, has to
Actually,
be.
like, jokes
I'm
aside,
sorry.
how
When
many
I
has
saw
he done?
Inside Man, I think that's when I was kind of like.
You going Inside Man?
I saw
Is
it
he
when I was a
Drake?
kid. Maybe I need to rewatch it, but when I saw it when I was a kid, it was. What's your favorite Spike Lee film?
Favorite Spike Lee film? I know when I tell people I don't like the basketball one, they're like, "What? You don't like the basketball Spike Lee film?" Like, no, I don't. Because whatever. Anyways, because Ray Allen ruined that. But anyways, the best Spike Lee film to me is what's the one where he's like in the pizza shop, he's arguing with the Italians.
Do the right thing.
Do the right thing probably comes to my head 1st,
Mm-hmm.
so that might be it.
My favorite is Malcolm X.
Okay.
That's my favorite. And then if I had to say.
Okay, here's my thing with the Malcolm X one and other films like that, right? When they're biographical, I almost feel like, he did a great job with it, right? But I don't know if that's like, I don't know. Like, when I think of Spike Lee, I think of the things he wrote, like original, with no, like, like adaptation reference, right?
Man, but you
Malcolm
can't
X is
say
fire,
that because Barry Jenkins' whole filmography is adaptations.
No, that's why I am waiting to see what he does outside
I'm
adaptation.
saying, like, you can't say that.
But the reason I say it with Spike Lee though is because Spike Lee has shown us like he's not. I love Barry Jenkins, right?
Yeah.
But Spike Lee is not like an adaptation only director. Like, he has like bangers outside of that. But no, Malcolm X is fire though. I can't be mad at that.
I feel like that's probably my favorite. Okay. So Jungle I don't know. Fever. I don't never.
Crooklyn?
That's what I say. Crooklyn is. If I could
always forget about Crooklyn.
If I could not name one that is like literally like an adaptation for me, it might be Crooklyn. Would be my favorite.
That's my favorite script from him.
And then the second one could possibly be Mo Better Blues. I really do like Mo Better Blues.
Yeah.
I really like Mo Better Blues. But I know people arguably say Do the Right Thing or School Days is like his best.
School Days is.
People argue Jungle Fever. Like, let's be honest. Spike Lee's first 10 films were like his best.
Well, She's Gotta Have It, School Days, Do the Right Thing, Mo Better Blues, Jungle Fever, Malcolm X, Crooklyn. That run right there, you might be able to include He Got Game in that run. I wouldn't be mad at you. But like that run right there, that's peak Spike Lee going absolutely crazy.
Insane. And the crazy is they're coming year after year after year.
That's nuts,
it isn't until like, what is it? Freaking 94, which was Crooklyn. He had a 2-year like break. Like it was 2 years till after Malcolm X for Crooklyn. And then the year after that, it was Clockers. It's ridiculous. That's why I will never disrespect the fact that, look at that advertising for Creed. They listening to us. But that's why I will never disrespect Spike Lee in regards to being a great filmmaker, like a writer and a director. Like his first 10 films out the gate was little money, little budgets, was arguably the best. And keep in mind, he says like the industry itself arguably constantly tried to shut him out. Constantly. Wasn't giving him resources, wasn't giving him connections. People love Girl 6. Like, he has some really great films.
I think Girl 6 is one of those movies where, like, if that was the only thing he made, I'm like, oh, he's good. But when you see the other stuff, it's kind of like
whoa.
Girl 6 is obviously not on the level of, like...
Whoa. Girl 6 is probably like a She's Gotta Have It. But even then, it's to each his own. Like, Girl 6 and She's Gotta Have It, they're a cult classic. And we're talking She's Gotta Have It.
I will say though, if you ask what he's known for, I would say it's probably.
I said it's Do the Right Thing.
Do the Right Thing.
I said what people argue is probably arguably his best films is Do the Right Thing, and then they would say they like the community en masse, black, white, brown, whatever, would say Do the Right Thing, and then the second would be. For the black community would say School Days, and then the rest of the people who may not be black would say Jungle Fever, and then the people who are really Spike Lee fans, they're gonna say his other great ones is Malcolm X and Crooklyn.
Crooklyn, I always forget he wrote. Crooklyn is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Great.
Dude.
It is great. It is sad.
You see, I gave it a 9 out of 10.
It is great. It was a great film. So, but moving on. So I also saw Scream 6. He didn't see it. Shaka's not a scary movie person, but like I give a little brief update on that. Scream 6 I enjoyed. I think they had some like sequences with like the killers, facing the victims and all that. That was fun in regards to like it was a new way of presenting it. Like it was like a spoiler, it was like a whole part in the film where like there was like double killers, and at one point they both like swiped the gun or clean the knife with it. That was a nice little shot or scene. But for me personally, like I feel like the film had a whole cop out by not actually killing Courtney Cox's character on screen. I did not like that. It felt like a cop out. Second, I learned that Neve Campbell was not in this screen because she was undervalued. She in quotes said that she was undervalued. So
who?
Neve Campbell, Sidney Prescott, the star of the franchise itself. She allegedly said that she was pretty much lowballed in regards to offer to return monetary wise. And then Courtney Cox came back, but they did a cop out where like basically she was stabbed and everything, to where like it insinuated she was dying, but then there was a faint pulse, and then we didn't actually see her die. And then they're like, we need to go to the hospital too, just to make sure Courtney Cox and the other girl doesn't pull it through. And one of the girls pulled through, so it makes you believe like there's room for Courtney Cox's character to pull through. So that's that. That. I'm gonna put it like this. I think I don't. For me, it's only so many different versions of why someone is killing somebody and who is killing somebody and how they're going about it. I don't know if Scream 7 is necessary. But if they do the one, this next one has to be the last. Scream 7 has to be the last.
Fast and Furious or Scream? Which one do you think has stayed its welcome the longest? Or which one do you think needs to end before the other?
Fast and Furious.
Well, look, when I saw them jump a car from one building, a skyscraper, to another skyscraper, I was like, all right, we've done it the most. Like, we cannot do any more with these cars. We've gone entirely too far. This is no longer a racing movie. This is like car stunts, right? But then, no, look, they're like, no, Shaka, this is where you're wrong.
Is it the next one in space?
Hold on. Before we get to the space stuff, bro, look. They literally have a scene in one of the I think it's like Fast 22, or was it Fast 19? It's one of them, bro. Look,
it's fucking Fast 9 or something.
Look, bro, The Rock catches a car.
I saw that.
Look, they said jumping from one building to another wasn't enough. They had this man.
When they gave him.
No, I refuse to watch.
They gave Rock Johnson. They gave this nigga superpowers.
How did we get there?
They gave him superpowers and Fast and Furious. And I'm like, is this reality still? I thought we were just stealing cars. First off, I thought we were just drag racing cars. But now we're stealing money and we're criminals.
It's crazy.
But now we're superheroes and stopping cars.
It's crazy.
This nigga literally popped out like Thor.
God, they said, whoa. What is
That's why they said the next one gonna be in space.
What are they doing in space?
They said the next one.
Are they racing in space?
But you know what? This next one might be the last one.
They gotta stop. They gotta be stopped.
Because Dwayne Rock Johnson, he's no longer a part of the franchise. And then
remember he was beefing supposedly, bro. Was that ever real?
No, it was real. He was beefing with Vin Diesel and also with
Thomas.
Tyrese.
No. Listen, why is Tyrese beefing with anybody?
He was beefing with because Tyrese was, I guess, allegedly upset the fact that like
he was getting a movie, but he wasn't. Tyrese wasn't for what?
Dead ass. That's what it was about.
Why would we give Tyrese?
It was upset that pretty much Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Jason Statham went off and did their own film, which felt like it was a slap in the face.
Does he think that he's on their level?
Walker's legacy to go off and do something else that skims or separates itself from Paul Walker's legacy.
Is he attached to
I don't
reality?
think he thought that maybe like he deserved his own spinoff. But I think
Okay,
he was upset that Dwayne got introduced into the franchise late and still managed to get his own spinoff.
I get that, but at the same time, Paul Walker doesn't even scratch the surface to the amount of asses Dwayne The Rock Johnson can put in seats, bro. And then Jason Statham, bro, what?
I saw an article today. They were like, what is Dwayne Rock Johnson going to do now that he's no longer making films with like Kevin Hart? And he officially said that he's no longer going to be a part of this Fast and Furious franchise. I'm like,
what are they going to do?
Not know that this nigga Dwayne The Rock Johnson has his own show on what is it, NBC called Young Rock?
He's crazy.
He's going to be okay.
Listen,
like,
bro, look.
He is arguably, they said the most like. He's like makes the most money than any pro wrestler ever.
He makes more than all
and
them
then
combined.
more than a lot of industry actors who've been in there, like industry veterans, like actors.
He might be the biggest name in Hollywood right now.
Bro, he's a household name. And so the idea that like his whole wealth and notoriety is contingent on Fast and Furious and Kevin Hart is a slap in the face.
Bro, who do you think is a bigger movie star, him or Kevin Hart? I think The Rock is a bigger movie star. And I also feel like The Rock is a better actor. Like when I had a whole conversation with somebody about about Gridiron Gang? I had a conversation with somebody about the fact that we were talking about who was the better actor. I think it was you. No, I didn't argue with you about him or Batista.
No, because I thought I think Batista is a really good actor, and then we started really breaking it down. I was like, dang, Dwayne The Rock Johnson really does have Gridiron.
The Gridiron Gangs was solidified it for me.
And many other good films. Like, yes, Dwayne The Rock Johnson is probably the better pro wrestler turned actor. And I think what makes you forget that is because a lot of the films he's still in have been bullshit. They've been films with Kevin Hart, honestly.
No, but that's how you know how big a movie star is, right? They're not making films that are good and putting The Rock in the film. What they're doing is they're like, all right, we have The Rock. What can we put together
around The Rock? Yeah.
They're making films just like, all right, we have The Rock, make a story, put him in a costume, usually the gray,
giving him a quality script and letting him run with it. Because like from his filmography alone, like he hasn't had a ton of dramatic pieces, but for some of his dramatic pieces, he does a great job.
The bar is low, though.
The bar's low.
Because Vin Diesel made one little family film, and everybody thought Vin Diesel was the second coming of Sidney Poitier.
What family film?
The Vin Diesel film, where everybody was like, "Oh my God, Vin Diesel does family."
Is that
movies.
The one where he was like a military dude and his wife got shot? Oh no, he had another film where
his wife got shot.
His wife got shot. He was like a military or ex-op dude.
Triple X?
Was it Triple X? I don't think it was Triple X.
That the one Ice Cube?
It was another film. Was it Triple X?
Well, I'm talking about the one where he's like the baby.
It was the Nanny. That's called The Nanny, I think.
Look, when The Nanny came out, the Vin Diesel hype train was going absolutely nuts, bro. That's when he thought he could compete with The Rock. Yeah, well, we saw how that went. Anyways.
But we're going to move on and we're going to wrap this up. So that's all in regards to movies I have seen. Maybe next podcast, Shaka will see more movies for us to talk about it. But
the last movie I saw was Tenet, 3 years late.
Get the heck out of here. I just saw a clip about how Denzel Washington said he ended up watching his son's performance of Tenet for the first time by actually sitting in Christopher Nolan's house and watching the film.
In Christopher Nolan's house? Are they going to work together?
Right after it was cut. That's how he ended up seeing John David Washington's performance in Tenet. He told him to come over and watch the film with him.
I'm saying, but are they going to work together? That's what I
hope so. That would be a lethal duo.
Stop messing with the son, bro. We get the original. Pop's the father.
But movies to come, shows to come. Swarm, created by Donald Glover, starring Chloe Bailey and some other actors. I think that's the one you said that. Was it Malia Obama is one of the writers on? She's in the writer's room. It is supposed to be a social commentary on the fan culture and loosely inspired by Beyonce's fan culture, stan culture, the Beehive. I'm gonna be honest, I don't have an overwhelming desire to go and see it based off the trailer, but I will watch an episode when it drops. I'm not gonna rush to see it, but I will watch an episode. The performances in the trailer that I saw weren't really favorable for me, but I know Dominique Fishback is a really
great actress.
really great actor. She was in a film on her own. It was really good. It was about she had like a younger sister.
Yeah, I remember the first time I saw her was in that show. What's it called? The Deuce.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was like the prostitutes.
I saw her in that film where like pretty much. Go click her name real quick for me. There she is, Dominic Fishback right there.
Ooh.
Right? And it has Damson Idris in it. Night Comes On. Great. She was great in that. She was also great in Power. She was also great in Judas and the Black Messiah. How did I forget that? Like she's a great actress. So
that boy tried to steal my name. That's crazy.
I'll definitely try to watch her film, or watch this show that features her, but I don't think I'm in a complete
He could never be me.
But
he could never be me. Anyway, so what were you saying?
Whatever. Next is The Blackening. I don't know if y'all saw the movie poster for that, but it said we all can't die first. Honestly, I'm in agreement with other people that should have been the title of the movie. Based off the trailer for it, I think it's just gonna be a fun, lighthearted comedy that a lot of
was it the spoof movie?
Spoof movie?
One with like is it the black cast and like in the base? Oh yeah.
I'm gonna watch it. I feel like you watch it for any other niggas. You might as well watch it for your fucking community.
Well, I don't watch those films. Anyways.
Don't even do that.
What do I watch like that?
Don't even do that.
What do I watch like
You don't watch any spoof films.
What spoof films do I watch?
You don't watch them. I don't even think that's a spoof film. That's an actual
scary movie?
It's a comedy. It's a full-out comedy. How is that a spoof film?
It's
a spoof film for me is like
a spoof of comedy of horror films.
A spoof film for me is date movie. Dance flick. Like those are spoof films.
Okay, well this is like a satire of horror films. Anyways, listen, bro. Not saying that. What I did see, which I forgot to mention, in theaters was Cocaine Bear. Listen, bro. Not for me. I'll say that.
I'm glad I didn't waste my money on that one. So I didn't go for that one. But last but not least, John Wick Chapter 4.
Oh my god, I can't
wait. Visuals look great as freaking usual.
Keanu Reeves is one of the greatest actors of all time.
Do you think this would be the last installment?
It is.
Yeah. So, John Wick Chapter 4
you get an argument for that?
Featuring Keanu Reeves
as one of the greatest actors of all time.
Keanu Reeves being one of the greatest actors of all time.
Do you disagree?
I think he's in. I think one of is good.
I think he's top 50 male actors all time.
Top 50 for sure. Top 50 for sure.
Which is extremely crazy.
And he's had a lot of performances that solidified it, even back in the day.
He might be top
10 teenager.
Top 10 male action performers? The Matrix?
Well, action. Are you saying just
like pure action? Like actually doing your own stunts too.
Yeah.
Not stunt man. I'm talking about doing your own shit.
I would say him.
Jackie Chan, Jet Li.
Go look up Chapter 4 because he got some other folks in there who are like really good stunt actors too. Go at the scenes, but you can't. Funny enough, I feel like you gotta also mention Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise. You see what he just did?
Donnie Yen. You gotta mention Donnie Yen.
Did you see the stunt Tom Cruise just did at age 55 off the bike?
Or
I don't know what film.
Maverick?
It's not for Top Gun. It's for Mission Impossible, the new one coming out.
Yes.
He drove a bike off a cliff, bro, in real life.
They say he does all his stunts. He actually broke his ankle on one of the Mission Impossibles, on the one that was before this. Broke his ankle doing his own stunts. So, in regards to top action, I would say it's definitely Jet Li, it's definitely Jackie Chan, it's definitely Donnie Yen, it's definitely Keanu Reeves, Tom Cruise. I feel like you got to put he's not the great, but he definitely puts in the work, and I feel like you gotta say Denzel. Denzel has a lot of films where he does a lot of action sequences and he kills it. Let's be honest.
I can't put him on
Fire, Equalizer. Let's be honest.
I can't put him on a level.
Who else? I'm missing something. It's one of this dude's brother. It's this dude's brother. One of the Skarsgård. One of the Skarsgård is really good. Go down. One of his brothers. That dude right there. Yeah. He's pretty good in some action films too.
This dude's scary.
Alexander Skarsgård. There's some other people.
I didn't know there was more than one of them.
It's like 3 of them.
It was I've seen this guy.
That's their dad.
What?
That's their dad. That's what I'm saying.
This is like
Look at the siblings.
There's a lot of them.
Bro.
Their dad's legendary. I've seen him my whole life.
Acting runs in the family. Like,
remember we just talking about people you seen, you don't know their name or anything?
Yep.
That's him.
Yep.
That's crazy.
But yeah, chapter 4, John Wick coming soon. Very excited for
Yeah,
it.
you know
I just recently watched all 3 of them.
Solid. I'm gonna go back down that road. This dude right here is not the level of actor these other people, but he does a lot of stunts, bro.
Michael J. White, yes, you gotta put Michael J. White in the top 10.
I don't know if you can put him in there because his acting is that level, but just like pure stunts.
You know what I think? I won't say that he's a great actor. Maybe. I just feel like the scripts he is provided are just not good. Like, how can you really shine with a script that is literally already a D+?
I'm not disagreeing with you.
So what all he's doing is trying to compensate. Also, fucking Wesley Snipes is really good.
No, Wesley, you have to put him.
You have to put Wesley Snipes.
You're comparing people to this guy right here.
Jet Li.
It's hard to compare these people.
What's my favorite film by Jet Li? It's fucking Fearless. It's Fearless.
Fearless is great. It might be his best film, but you know what my favorite film by Jet Li is?
Hero.
Amazing.
Oh, Hero's good. Remember that one he did where he had the collar around his neck? What was that one?
I didn't know Donnie Yen was in
here. I'm telling you, Donnie Yen is also another great martial arts actor too.
I know the one you're talking about. Is it? It's like he's in the basement and he's like a trained animal.
Yeah,
that one was weird.
That was so weird. Who did that?
I'm probably even finished that. Is it called The One?
I don't know. I don't remember honestly, but
also he stopped making movies.
Well, he has some health issues right now. Like, pretty much if he continues fighting to the level he does, I think they said basically if Jet Li continues fighting doing the martial arts and stunts that he does, and it's called The One, and if he continues doing the stunts that he does his body will be damaged, like he'd be done. So he's definitely taken a big step back from that. Bro, somebody said Delroy Lindo is British.
No.
Yes.
Is he?
Yes. Born United Kingdom.
That's crazy. I've never heard him actually talk though.
Bro, he's British, but like, yeah.
And it
wasn't until his teens that he moved to Canada.
Oh, that's crazy.
Bro, I actually tweeted that.
See the way this looks, bro? I want to do some stuff like that.
That's what I'm saying. Spike Lee is great. The first 10 films of Spike Lee was great. And that was from Malcolm X. That scene at the dinner table with Delroy Lindo and Denzel Washington. That's his actual pronunciation of his name is Denzel, right?
Yeah, I remember saying
it's crazy.
Denzel.
But yeah, ultimately, I'm excited for all these projects. I think there are some more than others, like chapter 4 of John Wick, and then also the Blackening. The Beef, I was really excited to see that. I actually am excited to see that. It's just a comedy with Steve Yeun and Ali Wong. Yoon. Steve Yeun is a really good actor, period. I saw Minari. Is that Minari?
I still need to see Minari, dude.
Yeah, it was really good. And he acted his ass off in that too. So, but I think that concludes everything I wanted to talk about today. Did you have anything else you want to tap into before we wrap this up?
Nope, that's it, man.
All right. Well, that concludes our first episode of Reality Recap. We are happy to be back, and we hope that you stick with us for our future episodes. We'll be dropping an episode a week, so stay tuned by putting on your notifications for Spotify, liking and subscribing to our channel, and then following us at Reality Recap Pod on Instagram, Facebook, and more. But thank you guys for joining us. Peace.
Bye.